Okay, we have started the broadcast. The channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Dun dun dun.
Ooh.
Excitement.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, David Archambault as Dianok,
Will this be how it ends?
Lee Burdett as Flounce,
Yay! I don't know how to fly these things.
Jason Banks as Coda, Song of Conquest.
Hey guys, blast shields down.
Nobilis as Kanthan.
Alonzi!
And Paul Weimer as Xenophon.
Radiant Citadel under attack. The flagship is our ultimate battlefield. To the Yankee foe, we will not yield. Our conviction does not lack.
All right. So, everyone, it has been a long campaign. As these things go, this is session 31 of our adventures on the Radiant Citadel. And now we have come to the point where this is for all the marbles, so to speak. The Radiant Citadel itself is now under threat. When last we left our heroes, the Order of the Golden Prawn, they had saved the Radiant Citadel from an attack by an ancient elder creature known as the Drought Elder from the far realm, who hoped to create a planar confluence and destroy the material plane by swallowing the Radiant Citadel with an enormous chaos storm called the Keening Gloom. However, once you stopped that plan, it was revealed that the Drought Elder was always going to be betrayed by the individuals who had set up its attack in the first place, the Githyanki Armada and Exel's patron. So Exel learned of this during his brief time in the afterlife before being sent back in a new form. Coda has showed up, and it seems like maybe it's a Gandalf the White sort of deal.
Yeah, it happens when you get disintegrated. You know.
Yeah, you're just not the same afterwards. Anyway, you returned to the Radiant Citadel to see that due to the storm's proximity, as it now virtually surrounds the Radiant Citadel itself, it has stopped its advance. But now the Githyanki airship armada is attacking, taking advantage of the evacuation to seize what they see to be a pretty nice spot. And you all managed to return the scaled ornament to the Dawn Incarnates so that it could be dealt with once and for all to try to finally resolve the threat of the Keening Gloom. But also, you've been told that the Githyanki are heavily bombarding the Shield Bearers' headquarters. Particularly, the flagship of the Githyanki Armada is a big armored thing with lightning cannons, and you have been asked, your mission, and I would say should you choose to accept it, but you already did last time,
Yeah.
is to do something about that flagship. And so you found where some Githyanki warriors had landed their smaller fighter ships. You killed those Githyanki and prepared to steal those ships in the effort to do something about the flagship. So we now return to our adventurers figuring out how to fly airship fighters. Already in progress.
Already in progress.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Doc, how do these things work? You're the smartest.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess I need to analyze the controls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to actually get in one.
Yeah. I'm in mine and trying to see if I can figure this out.
Sure. So just a few notes about what we're looking at here when we look at these ships is that they each have a unique design after a fashion. But they all seem to have many common elements in the cockpit, suggesting that the method of flying them is likely to be the same between them, even though you might imagine that the handling is somewhat different. There are two of them that are slightly smaller. The three ones that are slightly bigger have what could be a passenger seat, although it's kind of like it's the sort of passenger seat like when you ride on the back of someone's bike. You know what I mean? Like it's not like an enclosed comfortable seat. It's more like here's a place that you can physically be. You better hold on.
I'm going to hold on and back at Enoch because I don't trust him better than I trust myself for this.
Them, trust them.
Yes.
Yes. And so as a result, as you all start trying to take a look at the controls, anyone who is trying to figure it out on their own can make an intelligence check.
Okay.
How about Arcana?
I think that in this specific circumstance, there is magic, but the elements you're trying to figure out are more in the vein of controls. So I
Okay.
think intelligence is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Wow. I only got a 10.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay.
I got
Woo!
18.
19!
Okay. Yeah. So I think so the truth is these things are not designed to be operated like they are designed so that Githyanki warriors can pilot them, and this is not to impugn the intelligence of the average Githyanki warrior, but the point
why
just
can't
being
we?
that they are not all geniuses, and yet you need them to be. So it's not that complicated. But I think what the key that Flounce is able to discover and shout out is the literal keys, so to speak. That there is there is a little slot that looks like a piece has to be inserted there
All
that
right.
will activate
I
everything.
Hop out and start searching
Searching
bodies,
bodies.
Yep.
for
Yeah.
a thing that'll go in that slot.
And so you are able to do that quickly enough, and I think once with that little element, you're all collectively able to you insert the little thing, and there's just an obvious button right there, and then the thing sort of starts humming to life, vibrating, and there are console controls, and so it is at this point that the basics of how to turn it on and try to fly seems apparent. Now, actually doing it is a different thing, right? It's one thing to have someone say, "Go like this,"
Yeah.
but now you're going to try to actually fly a plane. So
You're not going to look back to Cantha and say, are you sure you want to be behind there, be there with me? Because I have no clue what I'm doing. And I'll just try and pull on, manipulate the controls and
it jerks forward and crashes gently into the one in front of it.
Okay.
So what I'll tell you right now is that like figuring out the controls was intelligence, but the actual operation of it is going to by and large be a dexterity based.
Still
That
not
helped
as
us
good.
all.
It's still not strong suit. So
Yeah. So on that basis, once you've kind of been able to collectively discuss like, oh, this is how it seems to work in the broad strokes of it. Is this set up how you're intending to actually do it? Flance with her own little one, then Xenophon and Coda in one, and Deanoch and Canthan in another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
sure.
I like
Yeah.
that. But before we take off on this thing, I would like to put guidance on Flounce.
Okay. All right. So
I would appreciate any help you can give me.
Okay, so I briefly touched on this offline, but what I'll just tell everyone now is that whoever is piloting the plane, this will require your action to continue piloting it every round. There is no autopilot here. If you let go of the controls, it will start to crash. So it is, it's once you are piloting and you're in the air, you're gonna have a problem if you don't continue to use your action to do that. Now, that's not to say that you might not at some point be willing to abandon your plane, but there's no taking other actions if you are still piloting without losing control. However, those of you who are in the passenger seat, you're going to potentially have some difficulty because, like I said, there's no like seat belts or anything. You're having to hold on. But you are not otherwise occupied. And so depending on, the scenario, depending on how much you are trying to do other than hold on, you might have disadvantage on some things or need to make checks for others. But that's the basic idea. So as you all prepare I'm going to briefly skip past the bit where you discover you actually probably need to move the ones that are not being flown out of the way so that you can actually use the street as a runway.
Yeah, the one where we figure out that there are clamps on the tires.
Yeah.
The broken one from our experimentation, we had to move out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one that's directly in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, we move the ones not being used out of the way.
How heavy are they actually?
They are not super heavy, and so on that basis, I think what you can sense is it seems like it is sturdy enough to be able to fly itself around and maneuver okay without actually breaking it apart, but it's not like if you crashed it into a building, it would do some damage to the building and obliterate the plane. Is the basic idea.
Okay, that's actually good to know.
Yeah. So these are not,
Don't try and
yeah.
use it to penetrate armor. Maybe use it to jam up mechanics.
Potentially, yeah. So as you all prepare to take off, what we're gonna need here is a dexterity check to get airborne. And I think if you want to make the case for sleight of hand, if that's better for you than dexterity, I will allow that too. So
Right,
might as well
so-
just say sleight of hand check, and then you roll dexterity if you're not.
Yeah,
proficient.
sleight hand's slightly better for me, so that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at a flat 0 regardless.
Oh,
I was gonna fly. I was gonna fly Xenophon, so
Okay.
that way you could cast spells.
Oh, you want me to be your rider?
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
However
Yeah,
you
no,
all
no,
decide to do it.
If you think you're a better pilot than I am, then then we'll just use the 3-plane. Then we'll just do it that way. All right.
Coda looks at you with a slight shrug. Who's quicker than a hare?
oh.
Well done, Coda. Well done.
I'll
All right. Okay. So Coda will fly.
All right.
And then watch, I make a dex check. Nat one.
All right. And
Well,
recall, Flounce, that you do have guidance on you for the first one, this
Okay.
first roll.
That's good because
So-
you're lead.
Yeah, so I've got advantage on it.
No,
No,
you
you
roll
roll
a
a D4.
D4 and you can add
I
that.
can add a d4, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like a divine inspiration.
And I forgot I can.
That's not gonna help.
So I think that I think what happens here is that there is a lot of buildup, and then we have a quick cut to Flounce standing over where she has just wrecked that fighter right into the building right across the street, and just kind of like, well, I guess we're glad we have 2 more, huh?
Yeah.
I see I got a 21.
Okay, well, hold on, because I think I'm just
At least-
we're reflecting that we have
Yeah.
Alright, where did I disappear to?
I
Oh,
where
there,
did-
there I am.
where did oh you're moving yourself around.
Yeah, somehow I got taken off of the screen and I can't grab myself anymore.
Where Where
I'm like
where
all
even?
the way up. I was all the way on the right hand side, and now I'm not there anymore.
Well, it's because you were trying to move yourself at the same time I was trying to move you, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter. We're going to change off this map right away anyway. It's not important. But so I think what instead we're going to get is that that happened immediately and suggested the stakes involved here because you were still on the ground there and didn't take any damage for that time. However, you're all now recognizing that this is about to be something you're doing hundreds of feet above the ground and
Yeah.
in
Oh,
combat.
God.
So
Oh God, oh God, oh
if
God.
that
We can do this.
inspires you to change anything about your tactics, let me know. Otherwise, Flounce can roll again.
Okay.
No longer has guidance. Or no, I guess
Has-
technically you didn't add it the last time, or it wouldn't have made. But yeah,
Yeah.
you still have it. How about that?
Oh my god.
Okay. Um.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah. So.
I think that time you take 9 bludgeoning damage because you crashed again.
Oh my god.
Okay. That's not great because I'm under 50 hit points.
Hmm.
I can I help out?
I mean, you all tell me what you're wanting to do.
I mean, we've got one more. I could conceivably try again, but this is obviously not working.
Yeah. You have wrecked the 2 smallest ones now.
Yeah.
What is your um?
Maybe
How
Maybe-
dexterous are you?
I'm a big
05?
fat 0 on dexterity. I am not
Maybe-
dexterous. I am
All right.
strong.
to fly?
All
Are
right.
you-
All right.
Are you a 0 as well,
I-
Xenophon?
No, well, with sleight of hand, I'm at +4.
Yeah, I've got a +1, so I'm gonna hop out of the one that I'm in with Enoch. Maybe have him fly slow over the head. I will try piloting that one with float in the back. I got a slightly better chance.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So, take 3. Third time's the
Take
charm.
One hopes.
Flounce
Oh,
this
God.
time, or I guess Canthan this time. You want to roll?
Yeah.
17.
17 is enough, and the plane takes flight. And so Dianok, although I'm suggesting that this was happening in order, right? But you can use the roll that you got before, which was a 21. You said.
21, yes.
All right, great. How about Coda?
11.
11 is enough. I think it's
Okay.
a little close. I think
Okay.
you here. This
Oh,
is
here's
the way I'm
also-
going to put it. Is
here's
that
I was gonna say, would my leprine, would my senses where I can use that to boost dex saves help with this?
no? This wasn't to save, but you could
Oh.
potentially use it for other things. I think what happens in this case is that you basically scrape the roof of a building, and you realize you've just knocked off your landing gear, but maybe that's okay. You weren't really like. Well, it's like, how much were you really counting on needing the landing gear in the future? Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
so, but you are all able to take to the air and get to the point where you have a little bit more flexibility about slight imperfections in your controls because you're not literally threading the needle between buildings. However, before long here, you're going to be moving up into combat. And you have a slight advantage here in the sense that these ships are far enough apart that it's not necessarily obvious from a distance that this is not, Get Yankee Warriors piloting these planes, right?
Yeah.
But they are not going to have had orders to approach the flagship, right?
I have an idea.
Do you?
oh.
I'm gonna fly like kind of low over the Citadel for as long as we're over it,
Mm-hmm.
so that movement is not against the backdrop of the ethereal plane, but against the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember from the other map, that flagship is not very far off from the main map.
So yeah.
They're not very far off.
Let me put us back on that. So yeah, yeah. In fact, I mean, it is the flagship that is currently. I think I'll go ahead and move it. It's basically like it's harder to see when it's over, which is why I didn't have it over before. But it is kind of
Yeah, it is
above
actually
and
over,
nearby
yeah.
the Palace of Exile because that's where it is currently firing.
Right. So the path that I was going to take be to kind of avoid it at first, and then approach from the back, where there's less likely to be people. I mean, because they're heading out and down
Mm-hmm.
at the thing. That's probably where they're paying attention. So I was going to come at them from a direction that's not the direction they're firing,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
that their attention is going to be not now. Clearly, not everybody. I'm sure there's people who are on watch,
Mm-hmm.
but the best chance I think is going to be to come at it from a different direction
Mm-hmm.
An
than the
oblique
one that they're
approach.
focused on.
Sure, sure.
And I do our fighter. What kind of weapons do our fighters have?
None. They are not
No,
designed to be in air
Okay.
combat. They are
They're
transport. Yeah.
I mean,
I did call
that's
them
good.
fighters, but they really don't have. They're not. They're
Yeah.
they are for
They
bringing
would have stayed
warriors
in the
down.
air and strafed us if they would be strafing the ground if they could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, so
Yeah.
no, so we can't do the attack run on the flagship with these things.
Well, we could. The people who have two people, a person in the back, one person, like I've got my heavy crossbow.
True,
Um,
But-
admittedly, I'm not dexterous with it. It's not my best weapon, but
Hmm.
but I think trying to
But,
find a way
yeah.
onto that ship is probably our best bet.
and I know that I'm not a real good judge of where would be like something close to something critical, like I don't know, sails or what have
Well,
you.
so
So
these.
I'm just looking for someplace unprotected.
Sure. I think as you start to get close enough to see the flagship a little better, I think what you realize is that it does not have anything like a balloon or obvious sails. It is obviously magically powered in some way. It has like vents and cannon, like these like spiky cannon openings. And it does seem to have decks that are open on top where, like there are, you can see figures standing exposed and not all inside the armor. But it does seem to be armored on both top and bottom and sides.
All right. Well, then I'm just going to go for one of those open deck areas and expect that my friends are going to follow me.
All right. So you are what we're going to have is as an approach before you we'll go into initiative as you're getting close, not all the way to landing because so because the thing is, by the time you have gotten within a couple 100 feet, you are noticed that you are out of place. And
Well,
I
actual-
think, yeah. So I think as you are flying, there's a moment where you get half of, like, there's a magically amplified voice that is shouting something in Gith at you. Probably only Xenophon would understand it, and it's basically amounts to, "What are you doing out of position?" But the sentence is only half out before you see some of the cannons on the flagship, that side, starting to be reoriented towards you.
Gig is up.
Okay. Well, I am going to take evasive action.
Yes.
And,
So what I need is for all of our pilots to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
Hey, well. Oh no.
Okay.
Dexterity save. I rolled a 9. I'm going to use Indomitable and
All right.
roll it again. 17.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a 7.
Okay. All right. How about
Unless this is against a spell.
um? It kind of is. Like it's a magical effect for sure.
I have advantage against spells.
You know what? I'll allow that because I think it's a sort of a variation on the lightning bolt spell, which you know. So I think maybe
Oh.
you get just the tiniest hint of an advance warning because you feel the air beginning to ionize around you.
Ooh. I got a bit of an advance warning, but my second roll was a natural one.
Oh dear. So
So
yeah. What about Coda's our third pilot, right?
Yeah, I got a 13, but I can make
Okay.
it if I can make it higher if I need to.
No. So the 13 and the 17, I think, are sufficient to avoid this blast. But I think we see Canthan and Coda's planes veer away, but unfortunately, Dianok, yours is zapped. I think. Let's see. Let me. You're gonna take some lightning damage. Wow. Only 9 lightning damage. Very lucky to you because
Lucky deal.
because that could have been much more than that. That's low rolls on the damage dice. But so I think yes, you are zapped, and also your plane with only 9 damage is not destroyed. However, some of the fabric on the fabric wings has started to burn.
oh,
And so basically what I'm going to tell you right now is you have 2 rounds left of this plane unless you can put the fire out.
okay. Um, yeah, I don't have any bonus action ways of doing so,
Mm-hmm.
and I also looked the same feature that gave me advantage against the spells
Mm-hmm.
also gave me resistance to damage of spells.
Oh. Well, there you go. So yeah, that's good for you, but your plane doesn't. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So what I think those of you who glance back see that Dianok's still flying their plane, but it's now trailing some smoke behind it.
And
They've been hit.
yeah, Dianok is making a beeline for the uh, to get as close to the uh, air, airship as possible.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So I'm now going to put us on the airship fight map. We'll have to make some adjustments here based on what you're actually all flying now. For example, you do not have the little ones. Let me put your tokens on here, and then you can put them on the appropriate planes. And is that... Oh, that's still the old token. I thought I updated it. Oh, well. Let's see. And also just for the record, we're gonna adjust the positioning. We're leaving the actual positions of your fighters as being a little bit abstract so far, just so we don't have to make the map super big, right? So right now, kind of as long as you're in the non-mapped portion, we're abstracting how far away you actually are. And so basically what I'm saying is that we're going to roll initiative, and the assumption is that you're all starting. You should be able to, yeah, there we go. You're all starting something like 300 feet away from the flagship, and you're going to move 150 feet each turn. So you're going to have one more round where more stuff might happen, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get the turn tracker on here. I still think the new turn tracker little logo thing is kind of a weird, the little symbol for it is strange, but what are you going to do? Okay. And then So we're rolling initiative. I'm putting my pre-rolled initiatives up. And I would say from 300 feet away, you're still not necessarily seeing all of what is reflected on the map. Like it's taking a little bit of time to, you're going to need to be a little closer before you would have all that detail. Here, let me add you to the map. Enoch and Coda. All right. So let's see. I think we should have everybody is reflected on the turn tracker, and we just need Coda's initiative on there.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
31. Yeah. All right. Okay. Nice. So, and so by the same means of saying that your the distance is abstracted, you can choose to like circle around instead of just flying straight at the thing, for example, right? Because I don't think you all really kind of talked about what is actually your boarding method here. But we'll talk about it. So I think right now, Coda, it is your turn first, and so you can choose if you like to go ahead and move 150 feet closer to the flagship. And just flying in a straight line like that won't require a roll. But if you want to do anything more complicated, let me know.
Okay. Gonna talk over my shoulder as I'm maneuvering the ship. Xenophon, I don't think you're gonna like this, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to jump out of this thing when we get closer. So you might want to really hold on. And I will begin to move in a evasive pattern, kind of a serpentine.
Okay.
Yeah.
To
Can we
angle.
like spend some movement as far
Yeah.
as that's concerned to
So
make it more difficult to hit?
what I'm
Yes.
going to say is that yeah. So I think that's the way it needs to be. Is that if you choose to not move as directly there in order to be more evasive, you're not going to be approaching as quickly. So what I'll say is for every 20 feet of that 150 feet that you sacrifice, you can get a +1 to your piloting or the dexterity save for avoiding the incoming fire.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
obviously
Good deal.
making up mechanics on the fly, but that's how it'll work. So,
Yeah.
so how much? And again, this is where Deonox disadvantage comes in because they don't have a lot of spare
Yeah.
plane flight
Yeah.
to work with. But so how fast are you moving, and how much maneuvering are you saving for evasion? Coda.
And if you say they can base move 150 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I get a +2, that means I use 40 of that feet to be evasive.
Yeah, and you don't make the roll now. That's will be advantage on your dexterity check when they fire on you.
Okay. Then that's fine. I'll basically just break it up to where I move a certain distance, cut to another one, zigzag basically.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a question.
Okay.
Since I am piloting this, can it count as me? As me, like as like a part of me, since I'm basically hands on this thing, kind of like a weapon.
Hang on just a second. So you moved 110 feet, right? Because you sacrificed 40 feet of movement.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just adding in the little blue circle for the plane, the speed, the distance that you still are from the flagship, which is 190.
Okay.
Okay. And what were you wanting the plane to be you for?
Because I can, if that's the case, I can use protection from good and evil. I can use
Well, okay, but
sanctuary,
you're
things of
using
that
your
nature.
action to fly.
Right, or that's why I would say sanctuary, shield of faith, Zephyr strike, which would give me more movement. But
Oh, well, I think the Zephyr strike would not allow you to make the plane move faster.
okay, but I could protect it with a spell maybe if I get hit.
I mean, only if it's something that
You
yeah,
can cast on the
yeah,
object.
I
yeah.
think we would have to maybe do that on a case by case basis. But
Okay.
again, remember you're using your action to pilot, so anything that requires an action is off.
For those.
Yeah. All right. So Deanoch, how about you?
Dianok is going full 150 forward,
All right.
a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically gonna try and get as close to it as possible so they can bail.
Right.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now it is the Supreme Commander's turn. And I'm going to say that she uses this turn to, she just emerges from below decks up there because she essentially had been at her command post and is now aware that more is happening than continuing to fire below. So she has used her turn just to come up here. Canthan.
Yeah. I actually it looks like they've got enough guns that drawing fire is not is
Well,
not an option.
it's
But
certainly true that especially after they fired on you that first volley, they're preparing to fire again, but they have taken some of the guns that they were firing below and are firing at you now, but they have other guns also.
right, right. So what I'm saying is it doesn't. I don't think I'll be able to like draw any fire away from Dianok because his ship's already hit,
Hmm.
and I was thinking of trying to figure out a way to kind of get 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 their attention, but I actually don't think that is.
I think you can't really as the pilot
Yeah.
because you're having to like it would you would have to be going full speed to keep up with them, right?
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, that's the only thing I was thinking of. So
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go full speed as well,
Okay.
so that he's not the most threatening thing in the sky.
Right.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
my
and
rationale
also
there.
keeping even with them gives you potentially more options.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. If we
Uh,
need to, if his ship gets blown out from under him, I can maybe swerve over and catch him.
right. Okay, so
Well, and Kanthan would also know that Dianok has Misty Step, has the ability to basically a bonus action teleport.
all right. Well, so here's a question, and we can discuss how we like how we would like to have this be. Misty Step. I personally, I don't know. I have complicated feelings about whether Misty Step maintains inertia or not. What do you all think? I think I because
I
Misty
mean-
Step is definitely going to play a role in this combat, and so we can decide to have it work one way or the other here. I think frequently it is used in such a way as to suggest that it does not maintain momentum.
I mean, I'm okay with it if you rule that it does. You know, Dianok has to do a deck save to keep, to avoid, just slamming into something or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking that Misty Step wouldn't, because I always think of it as like a ninja smoke bomb sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was Dimension Door, absolutely.
Hmm.
I would, and matter of fact, I would be like, can we use that to crash these into the ship?
Well, see, I'll also point out though, that as you're getting closer and closer to this thing, you know that your fighters are not going to hurt the flagship by crashing into it.
No, yeah.
No.
Right, right.
You might hurt a person that you crash into on the ship,
Oh,
but you're not
like
going
a
to damage
person-
the ship.
Oh, like a person who just emerged on top deck?
Yeah,
Potentially.
We're all aiming for her.
If we've
That's my
got to
secret plan.
crash.
Yeah. All right. So, I think then that. Oh, hang on. So okay. For Misty Step, then I think what I'm going to rule, just to avoid too much complication, is that it does not maintain inertia, meaning if, for example, you are moving at 30 miles an hour and you do Misty Step, you can appear without still being moving 30 miles an hour. However, you will have to make a check to avoid falling prone,
Okay.
just due to it being like your body reacting to the change.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
All right.
That'll work.
That keeps it simple. So, okay. So, but it is now the Kithrek's turn, which is this other high level Githyanki who is already on the bridge. And they are, pointing at you and appearing to give the order to fire. And so now we need the dexterity saves once again from our pilots.
Ah, 19.
All right.
Thanks. And
Smooth
A
flying.
much better
Candace.
choice for a pilot.
I'm just lucky. I just
So
rolled
a
good.
+1
Oh.
instead of a +0.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a +2 that makes it +7. So
I got a 10.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh no.
hold on. Can I now? Yes, this is a dex save, correct?
Yes.
My leprine senses. Let's hope this D4 makes this better.
Okay.
Will a D4, by the way, if it won't.
Well,
it
if you're
won't.
already in an 11,
Yeah.
yeah, I think in this case, an 11 is you're going to take some damage,
Okay.
but less. Same with the 10.
Okay. Might as well try it. Okay, +2 makes it 13.
Yeah. I was saying 14 as the limit to avoid all damage. So I think what's happening here then is, okay, so the full damage would have been 21 lightning damage, but it's going to be 10 as a result of that. So I think, Dianok, you are basically you have your plane is not currently like falling out of the sky, but you've lost controls. So
Oh, dear.
right now, you had it flying straight at the flagship. It is now going to continue to do that, and it is unresponsive.
Okay.
oh God.
So, the dex save got the 21 reduced to 10.
Yes, and so you do, and also, Coda, you and Xenophon are going to also take 10 lightning damage.
Okay. And then resistance, reduce it on me to 5.
All right. Yeah, so I think, Canthan, you probably do see, especially since you're trying to keep an eye on Dianok, that their ship is like falling apart in the air, and it is lucky that it seems to have enough momentum and just enough wing integrity left that it might manage to glide all the way to the flagship, but it doesn't look like it's in good shape.
And Dianok is just signaling you to go on.
Coming in hot, so to speak. Yeah, so this is that's where that stands. Okay, Flounce, it is up to you
To do what?
to take your turn.
We're 150 feet. Are we 150 feet off the
150
edge of the
feet.
Yes, but I think you're also relatively close to Dianok because you were specific. Canthan was specifically trying to stay close.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you got a way to like pluck him off of there, or
Them?
I don't have a way to pluck
Yeah.
him off, but I do have Featherfall, which has a 60-foot range, but I don't know if we're that close.
I think you are within 60 feet. However, Featherfall in this circumstance, like
Doesn't
it,
do
it.
anything.
Well, I mean, it would, but it would save them from falling to their death. But they would still probably not if they jumped.
land on the,
They would land. They would safely land all the way back down on the Citadel.
Right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right. So I
basically,
have two minds. Fairy
Dianok
Fall
is
to
just
save
signaling you to go
Dianok.
on.
There's
Well-
Fairy Fall to save Dianok, and there's also
Well, it's
Featherfall
also-
also could be is his reaction, so you could
yeah.
save
So
that
you
if it
could-
really
it's-
yeah.
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 All right. So I'll save that in just in case. But I'm not close enough to use Firebolt.
You said you had a heavy crossbow. That ought to
I
have
do.
enough range.
I do have. It has the 400 feet is outside.
Yeah, so you can shoot
maximum
that
range.
at something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's take a couple pot shots at El Supreme Commandero.
Okay.
Come on.
Do you
You have
have
disadvantage
do you have
because it's long
sharpshooter
range.
I
or
do
or
not have
crossbow
sharpshooter.
expert?
No. No. I
Okay,
don't
well,
have
so
any of
you're
that.
only going to be able to do one shot then, because
Okay,
it's
even though I
loading.
have 3 attacks.
Yeah, because it's
But
loading.
It's
The
it has the
crossbow.
loading property,
Yeah.
so you can't do it with.
Okay, well, even just one pot shot is still
Sure.
a pot
No,
shot.
I'm just saying. Yes, you can absolutely take that pot shot, and it's probably at disadvantage.
Because of the range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, double 20s.
Oh God.
It could happen.
No, it was an 18.
Okay.
It was a 20 and an 18.
Okay. So,
But
on the die. So okay, so it's a
23 to hit.
23.
yeah, 23 to hit.
Well, so you are thrilled to see that it is your shot is exactly on target, only to watch at the last second as this Supreme Commander pulls out this gleaming silver greatsword and chops your bolt out of the sky before it hits her.
Oh hell.
But that's not a bad thing because that's she's showing her abilities.
She did have to use her reaction to parry, but
Yeah.
she did so.
Yeah, so that's me, and I'm going to keep an eye
That's
on
me
Diana
and the
in case I need
crossbow, firing on the flagship, trying to kill the Githyanki. All right, Xenophon.
I don't have anything I can do right now. We're not too far away, so I'm just going to hang on and wait till we
Okay.
get closer.
All right. So that is, it would now be the Githyanki warriors' turn, but they are not able to do anything to you from their current positions. They are, anticipating your attack, but they have no means to do anything to you at this range. All right. That brings us back up to Coda. You are 190 feet away. You can see Canthan and Dianok up ahead. Dianok's looking in trouble somewhat, but
I'm gonna stick with the same tactic because I've got our healer on board.
mm-hmm.
But I will make it so that I'm in, so that my ending position is behind, or as close to and being behind Dianok and Canthan and Flounce.
Okay.
So I
So
wanna
that if
trail
something
behind them.
happens, you could maybe respond to that. So you're doing another 110 movement? Okay. So that will put you at 80 feet away. All
And
right.
I'll say over my shoulder to Xenophon. Here in a second, we're gonna go straight in, so you should get ready. Because I don't think Dianox is gonna make it that far, as I see it seemingly almost as a ball of flame.
Oh God.
All right. So, Dianok, you basically, right now, what's going to happen. So, first, tell me when you were 300 feet away, the Supreme Commander had not yet come out on deck. What part of the ship were you pointed at?
I think I was pointing at the main long deck.
Okay.
I'd have some, a little bit of room to at least slow, maybe touch down.
Okay, so the other thing is too that like even though I kind of have you on the side on this map here, it was also, the discussion had been that you were really kind of approaching from the rear.
Yeah.
So I guess like tell me like, let's try to be fair to the fiction here that you were 300 feet away when you chose your angle of attack and you are now locked into it. Which part of the ship do you think your plane is going to hit at the end of your turn?
If it is maintaining its height, probably the main deck. If it's not maintaining height, probably this bottom deck.
Okay. Well, let's how about this? Roll a d20
Okay.
to see how much altitude you're losing. 18. So that sounds like you're managing to keep it keep it from losing too much altitude. So I think you're gonna basically you're gonna hit like right about here from the back. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like
Okay, so
like 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 that.
okay,
Um,
so Dianok is going to um. So base when uh so since I'm not I don't have controls. You
mhm.
know my I would actually uh be able to use my action to do a spell, right?
Yes. In fact, you could even, because of the nature of what's happening, you could essentially ready your action to do whatever it is just before you hit or however you do it like that. But yeah.
Well, so what I would like to do is um basically when I get to about the end of the like about end of the
Mhm.
thing, toss a firebolt at the Supreme Commander.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack.
That is a 23
Okay, 23 hits.
for 20 damage,
Ooh, nice.
and then and then I disappear. Like when I get about here,
Mhm.
disappear from Missy's step and um appear over here.
Okay. So, go ahead and make a dexterity save to see if you can keep land on your feet. You send your firebolt just as you're approaching, and you see it sort of you know it catches her near the face, and you see it sort of flare up across her cheek, and she kind of you know
Okay, so I got a 22 on the deck.
nice. Yeah, so you appear in place, and there's a little bit of a wobble, but you look very cool. And then there is a crunch from behind you as your plane like imagine those balsa wood plane model planes that you could buy.
Yeah.
And imagine throwing it
Haven't seen
right
those
into
in
a
a long
brick
time.
wall. So yes, the plane is just kind of like instantly destroyed, and
Ah.
the flagship does not really feel any
Well,
problems.
my thought mostly was like if it was gonna
Oh
do
sure.
anything to
No.
like skid across
Yeah.
and maybe at least
I think
make the
that I think
commander
that there would have been more flexibility if
twitch.
you had still had controls towards the end,
Yeah.
right? But
Okay.
yeah. So but I think you did not. So basically, you were lucky that you had already been pointed the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And as that happens, Dianok just says, "You do not belong here,"
Mhm.
and that's my.
All right. Well, the less lucky part though is that it's now her turn, and you're
Yeah.
right there.
Whoops.
Yeah. Now, I think she looks at you, and you see her sort of, her hand grips the handle of her silver greatsword, but she also glances back over her shoulder at the other two planes approaching. And so what she does do then is moves to cast a spell.
Okay. Dianok's gonna go ahead and counterspell it.
All right. You do that, and and it is well. Okay, hang on. It's not going to automatically counterspell. You will need to roll the check.
Okay.
So I believe it's just an intelligence check is how this works, right?
Because I'm aberration, I get my proficiency.
Oh, okay, sure.
19.
Abjuration. Okay, that is enough. That is enough. So yes, you counterspell her spell. It dissipates, and she looks at you, furious, and grips her greatsword again. And I think that although has used her action already, she is going to just basically advance to be right in your face. And she has got 6 inches on you, full plate armor, and she is hefting and
More than 6 inches.
extremely shiny great sword.
Actually, how tall is she?
Well, very tall.
Okay.
She's a big lady.
Yeah, Dinok's 5'10", so it's like
Yeah.
But Dinok probably looks at her saying, with oddly no fear.
Mm. All right. So that is her turn. Canthan.
All right. I am going to come in at full speed and like pull up at the last moment to like stall it and then drop onto the deck
Okay.
off of it.
Nice.
There.
So I think certainly doing that, it increases the odds of safely landing on the ship for you and Flounce, but it means the plane is not hitting anything. Right?
I-
Yeah.
I-
I'm
yeah.
just confirming the mutual understanding there.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
my intention.
yes. All right. So go ahead and
And-
make your acrobatics or athletics. I'll allow either.
I'm going to roll athletics. I got a much better score for that.
Sure.
18.
All right. Nice. I think you can land just where you want.
Okay. I'm going to land right next to Dinok.
All right. There you go.
Oh, this
All
sort of adventure
Do
is
I
a double kind of thing.
Now, was that an action to do that? Because I was piloting the ship?
Yeah, you had to use your action to pilot the ship in that the plane in that way.
Right. Okay. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. So it is now the Kithrek's turn. And what's his thing gonna be here? Yeah, he is gonna. How far is he from the? He's gonna charge up in that direction. Going to bonus action with his own astral step is what they call it, but it's basically Misty Step. Poof up there, and he is going to make 3 great sword attacks against you, Canthan.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I need to turn that off. I don't want to do that. Okay, so hang on. Sorry, I just realized I have my my mod here is not doing the thing that I thought it was going to do. Like it rolled on D&D Beyond instead of into Roll20 for some reason. Okay, there we go. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, so the first one is just a 14 to hit. And then a 10. And then another 10. Dang, that sucks.
Wow.
Sucks for the Kithrek. He has embarrassed himself in front of his Supreme Commander. That is not he's that's weak for him. A 10 is a 2 on his die roll.
Wow.
So in any case, yes, but he is certainly in your face, hacking at you with your with his sword, Canthan. All right, that makes it Flounce's turn, and so Flounce, you are reacting to what Canthan did with the plane, right? So you are also going to make your own athletics or acrobatics to try to land on the ship where you would like.
Okay. How about a
Okay,
26?
that is also going to do just fine. So you can end up where you would like on the deck.
I am just using this as an intermediate space.
Okay.
I think. Oh God, I'm going to land right here.
Okay.
And
Let's see. Let me zoom
does
in to where.
Does flanking mean anything?
No, we weren't using
We
that.
haven't been
Yeah.
using flanking.
Yeah. Yeah, I just figured I'd ask, but that's fine. Bonus action Sunblade, boom.
All right.
3 attacks against the Supreme Commander.
Okay.
Let's see. Boom number 1. That's a 30 to hit
Okay, that will hit.
for 10 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Oh, that one's gonna miss. That's a 12.
Yeah, that just definitely misses.
And so close. 25 to hit.
A 25 will also hit.
Okay. For 9 points of radiant damage.
Okay. 19 total. All right, cool.
All right, cool. And that is me for this time.
Okay. Good for you. Xenophon,
Okay, so how close is the plane?
you are 80 feet away currently. However, on like Coda's turn, you're going to move to wherever you move to, so you could hold an action, for example.
Yeah, I want to hold an. I think that's the safest bet, to hold an action till next turn.
Are we
Probably.
within range for inspiration? If you have any left.
I do. What's the range of inspiration? That's a
80
good
feet?
question. Let's see.
I want to say inspiration.
60 feet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's normally 60 feet unless you
So
have
I'm
something.
not
that-
close enough to inspire anybody yet.
Close enough for Firebolt?
I am. Okay. So if I do something on this turn, then when Coda moves in, how would that actually work mechanically?
Well, what are you wanting?
I'm wanting to do something. If I don't hold an action now, what happens when Coda gets the?
I
plane
mean,
to
if you
there?
don't hold an action, you're essentially not using an action this turn.
Right. Well, I was just wondering about what happens next turn if I do it. You hold it. Use an action here.
Well, I think what will happen is if you hold an action, then when it is Coda's turn and he does what he does with the plane, we would resolve whether or not your held action goes off, and if it does, it goes off at that time.
Okay. All right. Perfectly.
So, I
fine,
mean,
good.
in fiction, what it is you are not yet at the flagship, but you're on your way. So,
Right. Okay. So following the fiction, I'm going to throw a firebolt at the Supreme Commander.
okay, she's going to be harder to hit. She's going to have 3/4 cover right now because she's
Oh.
behind Flounce and the Kithrak from where
Okay.
you are.
What about the Kithrak? Is the Kithrak
Yeah, you
on
can.
there?
Yeah, you can get him. Or
Okay, I'll
well,
shoot
you
at-
know, he's got the.
Or one of the warriors on
Yeah.
the lower deck
No,
there.
yeah, our front action is here. I'm going to throw at the Kithrak. See what happens.
All right.
Not effective.
No.
15.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that seems to have been absorbed by his armor, and he's like, oh.
Not even a distraction. Okay, that's my turn.
All right. So that now makes it the warrior's turn, and seeing that the action seems to be taking place up on the main deck, they are both going to use their misty step to poof up there. Let's see, 1, 2. Don't want to make them do any more extra running than they have to. So I think Flounce, you're getting all of their attacks.
Okay. 36 hit points. Let's see if they take me down.
All right.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
So they are each making 2 greatsword attacks. That's a 12,
Nope.
22.
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be 6 slashing damage and 6 psychic damage.
Okay.
And then a 13 and a 6.
Definitely not.
All right.
Xenophon, I think
Still
your
up.
first action should be to hit Flounce.
Yes,
Second
yes,
wind.
yes.
All right. Okay, so that was the Get the Yankee Warriors. Coda, it is now your turn. What are you doing with the plane?
Yes. So my initial thought was to have land angle it here where I dropped his token because that person was there and I was going to hit them with it.
Yeah.
but they're no longer there.
Yeah,
But I was-
everyone's now clustered around your friends, so that whole
right.
Yeah.
But I would still
Yeah.
look for that to be the landing space. And
Okay,
the way
sure.
I was thinking of doing,
So, well, you have enough extra movement that I'll basically let you make a piloting check to essentially see how well you land in that spot. If you want to land with the plane like intact, because like 2 of your 3 planes are now lost to you.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so if I can take the extra movement and just land it, that
I mean, so it will require a roll, but I will let you roll to do that.
absolutely.
Come on, go to
On
conquest this role.
dice.
Check save. There we go. 22.
Okay, so well, this is a check, not a save.
Oh, okay.
So-
Sorry. Well, it's still this. It's +5. It's the same.
Okay,
For
so
my
so a 22 is enough that I think you do manage. I think that it's not a runway, so I think that it does take some damage to the plane.
Oh, but don't forget, I don't have landing gear, so it's sliding, baby.
Right. Well, no, because you landed in that spot and it doesn't have enough room to go through the narrow part, so I think it just crunches into the. But you managed a high enough roll that you kind of are able to slow it
Slowly
enough before it
drop
kind
it,
of
yeah.
drops into that spot, and so it's damaged. It's going to be a dangerous takeoff if you want to try to fly it again, but you land with you and Xenophon without having to make extra checks to avoid damage or whatever. You're on your own.
Nice.
So that was your action to land it in that way, but do you have anything else for the rest of your turn?
Yeah. So for here, how far away are they? Because I would like to help them in some way. But I do not know if I have the range on a spell. Or
Aye.
if I can bonus action.
You have the range on a bow.
I can't. I took my action to pilot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yep. Actually, that's 30 feet. Oh, but that is not. I will brandish my holy symbol
Okay.
and cast Shield of Faith on Flounce. Because it's got a range of 60 feet and it's only a bonus action.
Okay.
So you get plus
Cute.
2 to your AC.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
By the way, you are slightly hewn in green eldritch energy, by the way.
This
I
is
got
fine.
no problems with
Yeah.
this.
All right. Okay, so Dianok, it is now your turn.
Okay, so Dianok, yeah, Dianok's thinking had some plans going, but that didn't quite pan out. So Dianok is going to say hold to both the to the 2 in front of them.
Okay.
And
Okay.
cast hold person at 3rd level to get 2 targets.
Okay. And so
Wisdom
they
save.
make wisdom saves, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, so first the Kithrak gets a 14, which I believe fails. So he is paralyzed for the moment. The Supreme Commander gets a 23.
Okay.
Okay. So, but this guy currently paralyzed.
Okay.
All right, everyone's so close. I can zoom the map in more.
Yeah. And Dianok's looking at that great sword and it's like, nah, I'm not gonna move.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that that it is now the Supreme Commander's turn, and they. Yeah, I think that they have recognized that you might have the capacity to just counterspell again if they try another spell, which does seem like it might otherwise be their preference. But instead, they're going after you with their big silver greatsword with 2 attacks.
Okay.
First is a 26 to hit.
That that hits, but gonna go ahead and do shield anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Rebuild my some of my
okay.
yeah.
So
The defensive
that
ward, yeah.
um. Oh, you know what? It accidentally rolled the slashing damage twice. But so I'll take the first one, which was 12 slashing damage and 15 psychic damage.
Okay. So let's see.
And then the second attack is a 21 to hit.
That
With the
is
shield?
my AC with shield.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So that's going to be another 15 slashing damage and another 23 psychic damage.
Good lord.
Ooh, 15 and 20.
Yeah, 38 total
okay.
for that second attack.
Ouch.
Oh, and do you have resistance? Oh, not anymore, because that was from the lightning thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
well,
And
that
it's-
hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's concentration check, right?
So
Yes.
the first, yeah.
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 Poor man's counterspell.
Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, it's two of them because for the two attacks.
Yeah. So I used the first one was absorbed by my arcane ward.
Okay. Okay. So if you didn't take any damage to yourself, then
Okay.
But
Well,
that 38 is going to mean 18 on your concentration check.
it's a possibility if I don't roll a total of a 5.
Oh.
So
okay. So the Kithrak
was
is
gonna
no longer
fuck that guy up.
paralyzed, unfortunately.
Oh,
Um.
I didn't
And
even- he lost a turn.
yeah, and then as she looks and sees, sees that the Kithrak is no longer, well, you know what? Never mind. I was going to say she has legendary actions, but we've kind of talked in the past about like after any turn, is it cool to use it after her own turn? I feel like it should be, but it's maybe against the spirit of the
I think
concept.
it's actually written that it has to be somebody else's turn.
Well, that's fine. So she won't use it at this time. So that means Canthan, you get a turn first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna attack the Kithrak because I would have advantage on it when he's held, but he's not anymore.
Mhm.
So I shift my target to the commander.
Okay.
And I am doing straight up attacks with Spirit Cleaver. 18.
Okay, an 18 would hit, but she parries it.
Okay, 16.
It does not hit.
Oh, and 12. Crap. All right, one more shot with the butt end as a bonus action.
inspiration.
21.
Okay, so that would hit, which I love the mental image of because it's essentially you get in a good strike, she ting, and then another one it hits off her pauldron, and then another one that just plain misses, and just as she's starting to kind of smirk at you, boom, the end of the butt of the.
yeah.
All right, so how much damage for that one?
9 bludgeoning
All right.
damage.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
9 is 9.
Yeah. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn. I'm
Okay.
not moving.
So now she uses a legendary action to make another silver greatsword attack against Dianok.
Oh. Yeah, she's
Okay.
she needs to take you down so that she can cast spells.
Yep, exactly. That's a 30 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's going to be another 15 slashing damage and 16 psychic damage. 31
I
total.
am still up.
Whew.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm coming, dude.
she
yeah, you
said,
may want to disengage and get out of range there on your turn.
yeah, and so at the end of that she gives a look to the Kithrak, whose turn it is next.
Oh.
So
Oh,
the
boy.
Kithrak is looking like he would rather fight Canthan, but you know, you don't get to be the Supreme Commander by not following orders. Well, I mean, that's one way. I mean, he has not yet decided that the way to become Supreme Commander is to specifically not follow some very specific orders, but
Yeah.
that is not today's plan. And so he is going to continue to attack Dianok. Sorry to pick on you, Dianok, but
I know.
the
It makes
tactics
sense.
have
Yeah.
deemed it necessary. So that first one's a 27 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
That's going to be 11 slashing and 17 psychic.
And Dianok falls.
Oh,
Dianok's
crap.
out.
All right. The other two are going to be against Canthan.
Okay.
17
Yeah,
to
that-
hit.
Okay.
17 misses, bounces off my armor.
All right. And then a 16. So,
Yeah.
you know.
T-Nox down, Flounce is hurt, and I am still at full hit points.
All
I
right.
haven't even gotten a dent in my armor yet.
Yeah. Okay. And I think actually the Supreme Commander is going to use another legendary reaction. This one to do command ally, and basically it is to the Kithrak saying, "What is this? I expect more from you." And so he's going to make one. He gets to make one more with advantage.
Oh, nasty.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Critical fail.
So that's
Yeah,
a
critical fail.
that's a crit. I'm
Oh.
afraid
boy.
What? It's a
it's a critical hit.
Yeah.
Critical
Okay,
hit
I'm
with
gonna,
advantage.
oh wait, I don't think I'm close enough to use
The rebarbs.
so we've got 60 feet.
Yeah, you are. You should be. You should be 45.
You're at 50.
Okay.
Well, it depends on whether you have to be. So, like, the idea is oh yeah, even Canthan is within exactly 60 feet.
Yep. So I'm gonna cast silver barbs.
And what does that do? It makes you have to re-roll a specific.
You
Die?
have to reroll the
Oh,
d20
yeah.
and use the lower roll.
Okay. So they were already at advantage, and the other roll was a 20. But oh my god, I literally just rolled a second natural 20.
Holy hell!
Runic
Oh, yeah.
shield.
So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that. Yeah, that's still a critical hit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Are you going to use Runic Shield now?
Yeah.
okay. What does that do?
When another creature you can see within 60 feet 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to re-roll the d20 and use the new roll.
Okay. All right.
I try to save those for crits.
Yeah, that's the
So
same
this
thing with silver
knocks
barbs.
my halberd out of the way.
Okay,
My
all
weapon's
right,
gonna
well,
come down on
so-
my head.
So, here's the thing. The question is, does the advantage part take place after all of these things, right? I'm asking because I feel like it could go either way, right? Because on the one hand, like if the initial two dice rolls are 20 and 28, and that means that the 28 would move forward, and then we do these things based on that, are we then ignoring that there was advantage? I feel like that's not fair, right?
Okay.
So it does certainly
Replace-
cancel
you
out
replace that roll. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what it means is that the crit was initially replaced by a crit, which was then replaced by a 17, but that means that the original 20 is now the higher in the advantage. So it is
Yeah. that
a
makes sense to
regular
me.
hit, not a crit.
Right. That's
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you all did save him from taking an extra 2d6 plus 4 and 5d6.
Goodness, I got second. level
So
stuff.
that's going to be 7 slashing and 17 psychic.
24. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
And
ow, you actually hurt me.
yeah. So he looks like his expression. I think Canthan, you can see is a like, all right, I got you at least, but I shouldn't be having to work this hard. So he's kind of pissed. But now it's Flounce's turn.
Okay. Well,
So you were attacking that guy, but then two more guys came up behind you.
yeah. Well, first of all, bonus action, heal myself.
Okay.
Good.
I can win.
Yeah. All right. So that's 17 points of healing for me.
Okay.
Okay. That'll prevent like half one of their attacks.
All right. So, and then, action. I think I got a Sunblade, this Supreme Commander chick.
Okay.
Just keep going.
All right.
So,
Focus fire.
Silver greatsword versus a lightsaber. Let's do it.
Yeah.
boom.
Well,
Alright,
you're all
first-
lucky that you're not astral projecting right now, because that's the big
Yeah.
special thing the Silver Greatsword can
Yeah.
do.
So 23
Yeah.
to hit.
Yeah, a 23 does hit. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm sorry. Wait. No, let me... She parried against Canthan, so cannot parry now. So that does hit.
Okay, for 16 radiant damage.
All right.
Nice.
Leaving big, sort of melty, glowing, molten streaks across her armor.
Yeah. that was a
17 will not
17.
hit.
Okay, I figured. And how about a 29?
29.
Yeah.
A 29 will hit, yeah.
All right, and that's only
Ooh.
7 radiant damage.
Well,
Maximum on the first, minimum on the second.
That's fine.
all
yeah.
right.
All averages out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes it. That's the end of your turn?
Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, Xenophon, you're up.
All right, so I can get off this plane and
Yeah.
into the fray. Okay.
So I think from where you are, you might not be able to tell specifically that Dianok is unconscious, but because
No.
they would be sort of behind a railing from you right now.
yeah.
So I don't
know
think you
that,
have line of sight on them from your current position.
But I know the fight's that way. And I
Well,
can
and
sort
you
of-
saw them standing above the railing before, and now you don't.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna move in. Okay, so do I need an athletics check to get off this plane?
No. You can just. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it'll be difficult to rain that first 10 feet though,
Okay,
because
so
it's.
10 feet, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. All right, it looks terrible. Now, can I see Dianok's problem from here?
Um.
Can I see that Dianok is down?
You know what? Yes, sure.
Okay, because then I get right because otherwise I would do an action, but now that I see Dianok is down, I
Yeah.
need to get there.
So,
So that's why I should figure
Just
it
so
out.
everybody knows, the logic in my head was not to go easy on you guys, but rather that the Githyanki probably are not terribly worried about having safe railings.
Yeah.
So they're short railings,
So
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
which might come
30.
back.
Which might come back. Okay, and okay, so that's where I am.
So you dashed to get up there?
I dashed.
Okay.
Yeah, right, because I see Daynok is down. That's why it's taking action. And
So that's going to be an opportunity attack from one of these warriors.
oh, from this one, yeah.
Yeah, to
I
move
guess
past him.
Past, yeah.
yeah, but I got to get to Daynok.
Sure.
So I'll do it.
He swings his great sword at you with only a 7 to hit. So
Oh, that won't even hit me.
nope.
All right. Who should I give inspiration to, guys? Who wants inspiration?
Give it Flounce in case it's,
Yeah, you're
in
right.
case she needs to
Okay,
make a-
inspiration for Flounce.
Okay.
In case you need to make a saving throw or something. Okay,
All right.
that's my turn.
So, it is now the warrior's turn. One of them is going to continue attacking Flounce with a 22 to hit.
You're
For
muted.
I assume that hits. That's going to be
Yep.
8 slashing and 3 psychic.
Okay, so 11 total.
Yep. And then the second one also is a 22
Mm-hmm.
for 10 slashing and 4 psychic.
Okay. I'm still up.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And the
I'll
other
come back to you.
is going after Xenophon.
Of course he is. I'm a Gizzerai.
Yeah.
But also means they're not going to whack on Flounce. They're
Yeah.
gonna whack on me.
And so he's going to make his 2 attacks against you. It's a 13 to hit,
Misses.
a 19 to hit.
A 19 will hit me, and shield won't help.
Okay. And so you're
Attack of opportunity.
What's that?
Flounce couldn't take an attack of opportunity against the warrior if she wants.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
left
Yes,
your-
absolutely,
left
I
your
will.
zone, yeah.
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah.
But that's only a 14 to hit, so.
A 14 does not hit. He's wearing half plate. They're warriors. After all, this is their whole thing.
Yep.
They don't even have ranged attacks. They just use swords. So yes, they wear armor.
Okay.
So in any case, Xenophon, that second attack was going to do 11 slashing and 12 psychic.
Okay, 11 slash. I'm resistant to psychic, so it's 11
Nice.
slashing and 6 psychic, so
Yep.
17.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. My psychic resistance hasn't really been useful this entire campaign, but now it actually might
Yeah.
save me a little bit.
So, and I think too that he screams at you a lot of
lot of stuff in
curses
Gith?
in Gith, yeah, and I think this might be the first time that the others are noticing that there's a Githzerai on board.
Oh, great.
All right, so that is going to be. Did I have the warriors attack Flounce already this round?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
I
you
thought
did.
so. All right. So now, Coda, is your turn. You're muted.
You did.
Yep.
Okay, so first things first, let's see here. I am going to take a shot at the warrior that is fighting Xenophon.
All right. I kind of like the image that you are now like standing up on top of the frame of the plane back to fire over these
Yep.
these mid thigh height railings.
Yeah, because I thought about running in there, but it's a little tight. I'm not trying to be there. So first shot, that is 26 to hit.
Okay, a 26 will hit.
Okay. Did it automatically roll? Let's see if it automatically rolls. Nope, it did not. But I think this will do it on the damage because it should get sneak attack. Yep.
Okay.
So 16 points of damage on the first one.
All right.
He takes another shot. Does 22 hit?
It sure does.
And he'll take a D8 plus 5, but no sneak attack. So ignore the sneak attack damage.
Okay. All right. That's another 12. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And-
yeah, he is definitely, hurt by that. He's, kind of bloodied and obviously injured.
And as a bonus action, I will say and yell very loudly because I know he's within 60 feet. We don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. Fingers, get up. And I will use healing word on DNI. Because of our interaction when I made this statement about his middle fingers. So hopefully
They're
he
there.
can hear me.
Remember they
There.
They
They're-
are.
yeah, that-
They are.
yeah, that's
Hopefully
right.
they can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So a healing word. Yeah.
Take,
They're within 60 feet.
Man, I am blowing money fast.
Hi.
I'm blowing money fast.
Aren't we just?
That is take 8 points.
All right.
Okay. Hey, no death save.
No
Yes,
death
yes, yeah.
saves.
Yep. All right. And you have a turn now to, I think you open your eyes, and the first thing that they focus on is the Supreme Commander looking down at you and just going, just
Don't forget.
you know, for the audio only listeners, it was kind of an exasperated eye rolling gesture. She also,
And don't forget.
this
Flounce.
is a campaign climax fight against the
Yeah.
Githyanki Supreme Commander. She uses her legendary action to attack you on the ground.
Oh,
Okay.
you.
Yep.
I'm,
By the-
you know, she's mean. She's
Yeah,
super
she-
mean.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
good.
yeah. So that's gonna be a 28 to hit for another 23, or no, 33 damage total. So I think
Wow.
that it puts you out again, but you know, not
Yep.
not any more out than you were.
Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't an automatic failed death save.
Well,
right?
not only that, well, I think
That'd
she
be
would.
stupid.
She probably wouldn't have done it otherwise, but also she did use legendary actions to do that, so she has less
Yeah.
to use elsewhere. But yeah, so that does mean you are making a death saving throw, Dianok.
Oh, holy Hannah.
Well-
Okay, good. I'm coming next
Comes.
turn, Dianok. I'm coming.
12. Okay.
A 12.
well,
So that's a success. So as per our house rule custom, what is a positive memory that Dianok has?
Positive memory Dianok has is the first meal that they had with the order.
Yeah.
This is,
Is this
It's
this
like-
on the adventure in the when you were there in the night market?
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
and just they yeah they never really had friends before, so yeah.
Nice. Okay. So it is now the Supreme Commander's turn. And I think she is going to cast a spell. And I don't. Does anyone have something that would be able to stop her, interrupt that? No.
No.
I
I think
think the
so.
only one that might have counterspell would be either Xenophon or Dianok. So.
And I don't.
Right.
I'm not a wizard.
Now, her big cool one that I had actually prepared something for, she can only do once a day. It did not counterspelled it, so it's not that. It's instead something else. But instead, what it is that she looks over at you, Xenophon, not merely because you are a Githzerai, but also because you're the healer.
Oh God.
I need you to make a strength check.
Strength check.
Strength check.
Yes.
Oh God, that's my worst thing. My completely worst thing. Oh God. All right, here we go.
Roll 20.
That's an 11.
Okay, and then let's see, I have to roll for hers. Yes. Okay, so her spellcasting ability is intelligence. She got a natural 20. So you look at her and you see into her eyes, and your own natural aptitude towards psionics allow you to kind of understand a moment before this happens, an element of what's happening, but you see her focusing her mind at you before you then feel invisible bands of force wrapping around you like a giant fist, gripping you in her telekinesis. And let's see. So I think if you win the contest, you move the creature up to 30 feet in any direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think she, if it were anyone else, she would do 30 feet away to where you would obviously fall off the ship.
You're his eye.
So instead, she is bringing you over the railing to here and holding you there where she can gloat at you.
Oh, you bleeper.
Yeah, so to be clear, everyone, he is being held like on the other side of the railing, like feet dangling, and there is
Yeah.
parts of the ship below, but steeply sloped, non-standing on parts below, and so he is not dropped this time because she wants to look him in the eye.
Of course she
Okay.
does.
But yes, he is currently gripped in her telekinesis spell. All right,
Okay.
Canthan, it is your turn.
Time for a
Wondering,
poor
like,
man's counterspell.
does that use a um grappling rules where you can use
Sort of.
athletics or
It's
acrobatics?
similar. No, no. In it is in this case it is strength specifically. Yeah. So.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, fighting spirit.
Alright.
Shing. Um, gives me 15 temporary hit points and advantage. On my first attack, I will use my my new rapid strike feature
Okay.
to make, instead of attacking once with advantage, I attack twice without advantage. So with the potential,
Okay.
it basically turns into potential of getting 2 hits out of one
Okay.
attack.
Okay.
And
But
then
it.
the
But it's.
remaining 2
But
will
it's.
be
Okay. So, but it's only for the first one. Okay.
only the first one. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I will get 17.
Okay. 17.
14.
Yeah. Unfortunately, her armor. Um,
Yeah.
Do
glancing
you
off of
want
that.
her to?
24.
Okay. A 24 will hit. Unless.
Or
Oh yeah. No. 24 hits anyway. She can't parry that.
for 15 slashing damage and inspiring a concentration check.
Okay. Now, bearing in mind, right now.
Oh, and a 14.
Yeah.
So I mean, she is going to make she'll make the concentration check, but right now Xenophon's being held over, empty space.
I know, but
All right.
I better off falling there than off his space.
True. Fair enough. Okay, so concentration check. She got a
And then the second-
16. So yeah, the 16 is enough to maintain concentration, but she
And then
does
16
take the
damage
15
on the second
damage.
hit.
Hold on.
Yep.
Let me just make sure she's taking the damage too. Okay, and then the second hit was a 28, you said? And then another 16
28
damage?
for 16 damage. And another
Okay.
concentration check.
All right. She is pretty good at those. That's another 15.
Yeah, well, it's what I got.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Yeah.
my bonus action. That's my action. No move. I'm done.
Okay, and so I think at this point, she is going to, let's see, she did one of her own attack legendary action already. This time she's going to use Command Ally again to yell at the Kithrak so he's going to get one extra attack with advantage against you.
Okay.
So, with advantage. What? No, why did it do that? Hang on. Sorry. So that's a 17 to hit, the advantage one.
Nope.
Okay. But he has 2 more attacks. The natural one. And then a 24.
Okay, the 24 hits.
Okay, and that's going to be 10 slashing and 20 psychic.
Okay. So a total of 30.
Yeah. All right.
That one hurt, but the temporary hit points helped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Flounce, you're up.
Hey, Flounce, don't forget your AC is still too higher because
Yeah. Well,
it
that just
lasts-
makes it 18. I actually altered it on the sheet so that I wouldn't forget. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so at least I got my reaction back.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to move to here,
Okay.
and so I'm not moving out of anybody's range of doing anything. but I am going to go ahead and attack her with the Sunblade.
Okay.
Do my 3.
I feel like
So-
you guys are all really gambling with Xenophon's ability to save himself if he falls.
They are very much
I'm
gambling, but
not.
that's okay.
I'm not actually.
All right. In a 13 is not going to hit.
Right. How about a 30?
30 will hit.
Okay, that's 16 radiant damage.
Okay. She's definitely starting to show signs of
And-
getting chopped at.
28.
Will also
You
hit.
could have tried. You could have tried your inspiration on that 13.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm saving it.
All
You're
right.
saving it to save yourself. Okay,
I
that's
didn't
fine.
Yeah.
give you the little dot. Let me put
Yeah,
that
for
on
13.
there. Okay.
Damage on the last attack.
All right. So she took the damage. Let me have her make the concentration checks. Okay.
Harder to fail.
That's a 15.
Uh-huh.
And then a 14. So
Okay.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's still maintaining it. Although, like I said, she is still looking like she's definitely. You guys have been doing a lot of hits to her.
Right. To take a potion myself, is that a bonus action?
That's per rules as written. It's a full action.
It's a full action to take your own. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all right. And we will. We'll just keep going.
Okay.
My bonus action is going to be to use one of my where is it? It's one of my runes. It's the one where I have one ability, saving throw or attack roll that I can force them to re-roll.
Okay.
Storm rune, yeah.
Okay.
And bonus action, prophetic state for 1 minute. Attack roll, saving throw, and ability check. I can determine that it has advantage or disadvantage for 1 minute, but it only counts for 1.
Okay. So are you doing that?
Yeah, that was my bonus action.
To
invoke
use
that.
the ability, which now means she can affect a roll.
Oh, okay. So you have not triggered it. You have just rendered yourself in the state that will allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So, okay, good. All right, cool. So that makes it your turn, Xenophon. You are currently restrained,
Right.
held aloft, and face to face with this. So, like, she's extremely physically imposing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
you can
5'6".
see, like, there's a toll that has taken. Like, she's got a weathered face. And the thing that you know about that, though, is that Githyanki live in the astral sea, where time does not pass for living creatures in that way.
Right.
So they only age when they leave the astral sea, which they only do on campaigns. So for her to look old tells you something.
You've been away from home for a long time.
Or she has spent a lot of time away from home fighting.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I can't really break out of the spell. So about the only thing I've got, well,
So
well, wait.
so I think
yeah, what can I
so
do
let's see.
while I'm held like this?
Until the end of, let's see, this is for the spell that she casts. So until the the end of her next turn, you are restrained in her telekinetic grip. And so on her next turn, if she wants to maintain the grip, she'll have to win the check again. So, but you do not get to make a check on your turn. You are restrained unless you have something that can, like, poof you out of that somehow.
So I can't. I could cast Sacred Flame on her, couldn't I?
Well, what components does that require? Because
Oh,
restrained doesn't.
verbal and somatic. Okay, so it doesn't.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah, because
Okay, so yeah,
it's
you're
one of
right.
those things. Restrained gets used in a lot of different ways, but I mean, the implication here is that you've got like invisible bands of force pinning your arms to your
Right.
sides.
All right. All right. So about the only. I know they're psychic. I know they're resistant to psychic. But I still can try it anyway because why the heck not? I'm going to. No. Oh yeah. I'm gonna vicious mockery her. Why
Okay.
the heck not? It's like old Gith Yankee far away on campaign. My companions will kill you. I won't. If I die, I won't complain. So let her make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I feel like that feels right anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Although she does get a 24.
Yes. So she succeeded. But then
Mhm.
I will give inspiration to Cantran.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's a I just that is not what else I can do.
I think
I
what
am
she says back to you in Gith
yeah.
is,
Oh yeah, I'm not going to get for sure. I didn't
yeah.
use Goblin.
Oh, sure. But I think what she says back to you in Gith, so again, only you hear it, is like, I don't know who's the more foolish, you for choosing these companions or them for choosing you. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, so in any case, that was the end of your turn, right?
Yep.
Okay. So because the Githzerai has been taken away from this other warrior, he's going to come back over and resume attacking Flounce again.
Someone's got to help the Enoch and I can't.
I hope you're okay, David. Just because
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh, yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
just mean like it can be frustrating when you don't get to do your turns and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
But all right. But in any case, we've got the warriors coming to attack Flounce. That's a natural 1, 15.
Nope.
That misses a 6 and a 14. So yeah,
Wow.
Yes.
they're whiffing.
You
You,
Thank
live
you,
for another
Coda.
round.
Yeah, ducking and
Coda.
dodging and bobbing and weaving away from their attacks.
Duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so that puts us back up at the top of initiative with Coda's turn.
Okay, I have been thinking about this whole time. So, all right, first things first, I will look to is they actually I'm sorry, I will move. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. That should put them all within 30 feet of me. It does.
Mm-hmm.
So at second level, I will cast Bane. You will see Coda flare with that green and purple light as he starts cursing at them in Gith.
Okay.
They need to make a DC 18 Charisma save.
All 4 of them?
Yep, because I upcast it.
Okay. So charisma save, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Well, so the warriors first. 19, 8. So there's only 2 of them. So 19 and 8. So one of them, I guess, probably saves.
Yep. He beats it by 1. Yep.
All right, and then the other one fails, so he's going to get a yellow dot of being baned. The Kithrak gets a 9. And then the Supreme Commander is going to get 6, but she is going to use her legendary resistance to succeed anyway.
And what does the Bane do?
They yeah,
Opposite
they
of
now,
bless, basically.
Oh, okay.
but I
Yes,
can do
good
it. Yeah, I
plus.
can do it to like multiple targets.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the Kithrak and one of the warriors are baned.
Nice.
All right.
And then I will action search
Okay.
and shoot.
Crazy build.
The,
Is Bane
Very
not
crazy
oh
build.
right, because action surge. Never mind. Yeah.
I would like to let you know that the only reason I can do this is because you reminded me I was 1 level lower than I should have been. So I could pick up a level of cleric. So I could pick up a level of cleric.
Nice.
And that's the first one, the one closest to me that is baned.
Mm-hmm.
and that will be using sharpshooter, so that's only a +7. 13 hit.
No, it does not. Unfortunately, they got half plate armor.
That's fine. I'll take another shot at him. Come on, hit. Does a 20?
A 21 does hit.
Alrighty. With that being the case, I will. Oh wait, hold on. I actually might not have to do that because I think I messed up. Because that should. Oh, it doesn't add it to the roll. It adds it to the damage. Never mind. So
Okay.
yeah, I will use my last superiority die to force him to make a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet
Okay.
away from me.
All right. Strength save.
DC 18 minus.
That's an 8. So how much damage does he take before he gets pushed 15 feet?
He will take plus that. He'll take 12.
Okay.
Plus 10, right?
Plus 10 for the sharpshooter, right?
Yep. So that's 22.
Okay. So he hadn't been hurt yet, so that's definitely not great for him. Not to mention the fact that he is now. So here's one of the things that makes it a little tricky. He's absolutely going over the railing, for sure.
Yeah.
But Flounce is kind of right there. So I need Flounce to make a dexterity saving throw.
Don't forget your quick feet work.
Yeah. And I also have the
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Use the
Okay.
inspiration.
I
use
was
the
going to say that
inspiration.
9 is not looking great. So
All right. So what is the
D12.
D12?
D12.
That's a 5, so that's a 14. And if
Okay.
I add my D4, that's a 2. So grand total 16.
what was the D4 for?
The D4 was for my lucky footwork.
Oh,
It's
okay,
for
right.
being a Harengon.
Yeah. So I think that was really close to being really bad. But instead, I think what we get is some sort of like Matrix bullet time thing where it at first we get this camera pan of the Yankee Warrior getting shoved back, and then the camera turns and it's like, oh no, Flounce is right there. He's going to get knocked right into her. But then there's this moment where it looks startled, but then kind of does just some complicated like judo maneuver to just send him right over her, and just what?
Flips on her back and bunny kicks.
And so I think you're high enough that what he is going to get on his next turn is an opportunity to see if he can save himself from death with his Misty Step.
Oh yeah.
But that's going to happen hundreds of feet away from you and beyond where you need to worry about him.
As far as we're concerned, he's out of the battle.
He's out of the combat.
Indeed.
And that also drops concentration on you, Flounce, so you lose the AC.
Okay.
Okay. And then I believe let me put him. All right.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay. So that guy is out of the picture. All right. Next that was Coda's turn. Okay. Dianok, I guess we're making a second death saving throw, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's an 8. Okay. It's a negative memory.
Dianok remembers the ritual of banishment,
Hmm.
and specifically remembers basically they have a setup where the hands are restrained, and with just the middle fingers extended,
Mm-hmm.
and just what goes through her mind is and crunch.
Mm.
And yeah.
All right. It is the Supreme Commander's turn, and she does need to make the check again. So you are once again making a strength check, Xenophon, and she is making an intelligence check to compete. She only got a 10, and you got an 18. So here's what happens, is that you break free right where you are rather than her getting to push you another 30 feet out.
Okay.
So what I think needs to happen right now is you need to make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can grab onto something.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have advantage.
Because her spell is still up. The concentration is not broken. It's just that you were able to shove yourself out of the temporary the hold she had you in at the moment.
Why do I have advantage?
Because of my prophetic state.
Oh,
Mm.
23.
A 23. I think with that roll, you managed to grab the railing just right there. And so she had to, and yeah, so she, so you're not out of the woods by any means, but you are at
No.
least in the moment still right there. And she did have to use her action to
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 do
ma-
this.
to try to maintain the hold. Um, and I think what she is actually gonna do. Um, I think. Yeah, I think what she's going to do is when she's going to use her bonus action to poof over to yeah, she's gonna do that? Does she need to do that? Yeah, she's going to poof over to here just to keep things fluid. But that is her turn. So Xenophon, you are currently hanging by your
Hanging
hands
by
on
a
that
thread.
railing. All right. So Canthan, it is your turn.
All right. It's time for another new tactic. I'm going after this baned fellow in front of me, the Kithrak. My first action, I'm going to try to shove him prone.
Okay.
My athletics check is an 18.
So it's not a special thing, so he can use strength or dexterity, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, strength is
But
better
he
for
does
him
lose
anyway.
a D4 because of the
Bane, you're right.
bane.
Okay, so he actually rolled a 17 before the D4, so that's you're gonna shove him prone.
Okay, so that was my first of 3 attacks. The
Okay.
second attack has advantage because he's prone, so I'm
It
going
is?
to attack twice
Yeah. All right.
Oh. Clever.
with rapid attack. 22. Oh, right, sorry, 2 23s.
All right, those both hit.
Um,
Although these are the first time you've actually hit that guy.
Yeah, yep, I know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, but which is exactly what the Supreme Commander had in mind. She's like, everyone's
Yeah.
focus firing on me. That's not how this is supposed to work. Yeah.
So 9 and 15 damage, and I have
Okay.
1 attack remaining. That one's at advantage because he's prone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 22
22 hits.
for 15 damage.
All right. Yeah.
And I have a bonus attack. Bonus action with the butt. That should have been advantage, but it's 28, so
Okay.
fine. So that one's another 8 points.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. I'm just realizing tactically I did not put her in the best possible spot, but I'll abide by it. Okay. That means after your turn, it is his turn.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna stand up. Gasp.
Shock!
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think he is attacking you, Canthan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely trying to
yeah.
be the most threatening person in the room to him right now.
A 12 to hit,
Nope.
an 11 to hit,
Nope.
then a 25, which is a little better.
Okay. All right. Bring it on.
Okay. 13 slashing and 22 psychic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
35.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm hurt, but I'm
Oh.
still up.
Okay. And then she's going to use a legendary action to give him one more attack. She just, commands him and, another. That's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For another 11 slashing and 17 psychic.
Psychic.
So
is-
28.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm reeling.
All right.
Okay. I gotta do Geonoc first though.
Yep. No, you got to do Deanoc first. That's
I gotta do my
absolutely true.
serpent.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's Feral and
If
get
you can,
Geonoc.
if you have something that can hit multiple people, that
I
would be
would.
awesome.
No, I don't have healing word.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, Flounce, it
Well,
is
I'm
your
not seeing
turn.
anything like that.
I am going to pull Xenophon over the rail.
I was wondering if someone was gonna.
I was wondering that too, actually.
Well, but at the same time,
I mean,
there's a lot going on, yeah, and it worked out.
To do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so I think that would be your action to do that.
yeah.
Thank you.
What I kind of want to do is I'm gonna do rabbit hop
Okay,
because it doesn't inspire
opportunity
Attack
attacks,
opportunity.
sure.
reactions, and I am going to bouncy myself all the way over to here.
Okay,
And I know that leaves Xenophon exposed, but I'm not.
well,
I
this
mean,
is
none of us are.
Well,
None of us are.
everyone.
Let's just say there might be something coming on the next, in the next turn, if things
You
work
last
out
that
right.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Okay.
All right, so that was Flounce's turn. Xenophon, it is your turn.
Okay. So my dear friend Geonoc is down. Let's fix that with a cure wounds at 4th level.
Okay.
22 hit points back. Geonoc.
Okay,
Nice.
good.
All right. I have 1 inspiration left. I'm gonna give it. Okay, so Canthan has 1. Who do I give it to? Flounce or think
Give it to Flounce.
yeah, I'll give
I've
it to
already got
Flounce.
one.
Yeah, I'll give it to Flounce.
Okay.
But you guys can start using them so I can do the infectious bit too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So that's my turn.
Okay, it is the warrior's turn. The remaining warrior. He is attacking Xenophon because Xenophon
Of course he
is,
is. I'm a Gisserite sitting right
and
there.
you're right there. So,
Yeah.
so 2 great sword attacks. That's an 18 to hit.
Okay, I'm going to use shield to block that.
Okay. So that would have, it doesn't matter what the damage would have been. The second attack is a 20. Does that hit even with shield or no?
No, that will hit me with the shield. Yes.
Oh, it does. It does hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
That's 11 slashing damage and 5 psychic damage.
Okay.
And so 2 psychic damage for you.
Yeah. So 13. Okay.
All right.
I'll bravely take it.
Okay, that makes it. Actually, oh no, never mind. She can't. Oh yeah, she has another command ally, so she's going to command him to attack one more time. That's only a 16 to hit though, so that.
With the shield left.
Yeah. All right,
Ink.
Coda.
How far down are Canthan and Flounce in hit points?
I'm at 22. I'm in bad shape.
I'm at 16.
Yeah. Both of us can't take another round of attacks.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dianok only just got brought back up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I-
So
if
all
you-
3 of us on that side.
If you-
We're I mean,
Don't get in a line between them and me.
Right.
I think Deanoc wants to lightning bolt these people.
yeah, because they're all in a line.
Right.
Shock
So-
and get seized of life.
Yeah, man. So with that being the case, I will take a shot at Oh, both shots are going to be at the lady in front, the
All right.
boss lady.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with sharpshooter
Set your mass.
24.
A 24 does hit. Yeah.
And the next one, 13 doesn't.
That'll miss. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't inspire you.
But
You
the
don't have
first-
sneak attack on her.
Nope, I don't. But that's still D8 plus 15 because it's sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be, well, it'll be plus 10 or whatever. Ignore the sneak, it rolls it automatic.
Okay.
So that is 7 plus,
17.
yeah, so 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a bonus action, I will cast at second level Healing Word on Canthan.
All right.
And he basically goes, I know you can chop her up better than that.
Okay.
So take. Where are you? Let's take 12.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So, I think that when you get that one hit in on her, she looks at you and her eyes kind of narrow, and you speak Gith, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what she says to you is interesting tactics. And you can tell she doesn't mean shooting arrows.
No.
But in any case, that makes it now Dianok's turn.
I'm gonna go big.
Yeah?
Yeah, how
Yeah.
Do
big?
tell.
Lightning bolts.
Okay.
8th level.
Oh,
Dear God.
Okay.
You are going-
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
X save. For all
Okay.
three of them.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
three of them.
and the one in front has got this. Has got a minus D4 on it.
Yeah, he sure does.
Hold on. Make sure.
Okay. So his dex save is going to be, it would be a 14 without reducing the D4, so I think that fails either
Fail?
way. The warrior got a 4, so that's going to fail. The supreme commander rolled a 10, but is going to use her second legendary resistance to succeed anyway.
Okay. And the damage is 47 total.
47, huh? Okay, yeah. So the warrior is just, and he goes rigid and then just flops bonelessly
Skeleton glows out through
over
his
the
flesh.
railing and then tumbles down off the side. The Kithrak takes that whole damage and looks very unhappy about it, but he is still up. And then 47 is going to be so 23 if
23.
she succeeds, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she is looking really bad, but not down.
Okay.
And as that happens, you see her kind of wobble on her feet, and then she turns to the Kithrak and just says, "You have command," and she's going to cast Plane Shift.
Dianok is. Dianok's gonna go ahead and counterspell that.
I mean, if you want, it is going to require
Actually-
a check.
Actually, no, never mind. I'm not.
I was,
Dianok
yeah. I
can-
mean, you know what? Do it if you want. I'm just saying she's going to be leaving the field anyway, so up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dianok-
it does like it. You know, tell me what Dianok would do.
Dianok begins to bring up her wand, but decides against it.
Alright. Yeah.
'Cause-
And so with that, you see the Kithrak kind of snarl in frustration as the Supreme Commander vanishes into like warping of space, and then is gone. All right, that was her turn. And then so Canthan, you're up. There's only the Kithrak left.
Okay. Well, I hate to be repetitive, but I'm going to give it the same routine I did last time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my athletics check is a 20.
Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I need to have him make a check, don't I? Yeah. Okay. He's got his strength, and he got a 7. So yep. Once again, he's knocked
Okay.
prone.
Okay. And use rapid attack to attack twice with the first go round. 17 and 21. How many of those hit?
He has an 18, so 21
Okay.
will hit.
So
And 20 hits, right? So, wait, no, the 20 was the shove.
right.
And then,
So
21 hits, 17 does not.
and then the last attack was with advantage, 25 to hit.
Wait, hang on. So, since the first one was a shove, shouldn't there have only been 2 follow-up attacks?
Okay.
The rapid attack.
Oh, right.
Rapid attack takes an advantaged attack.
Yeah,
and
you're
makes
right.
it two
No,
separate
you're right.
attacks.
I forgot. Sorry. Okay, so 15 damage from the 21. And then
14 from the 25 at the last
yeah,
attack.
all right.
And
Yeah, he's not exactly wobbling
Pristine either.
yet, but he's certainly taken a lot of damage, and he's looking pretty injured himself now. All right. So it is actually.
hold on.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Bonus action.
Yeah.
With the butt.
With the butt.
With the butt, 29. And that's another 6 damage.
Okay. 6. So what he does, because it's his turn next, is that he first poofs out of that position, poof, over to here. And then he has some sort of a device, like a magical device, sort of on his pauldron that he speaks into. And he speaks Gith, so I think only anyone who would speak Gith understands what he says. But what he says is, all ships fire on the flagship. And then he goes to plane shift himself. So
You're just going to go ahead and counterspell that one.
okay, it's still going to be a check. You're looking for 17.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And so check is natural 19.
All right, yeah. So you see that he starts to disappear into this warp of space, and then he's still there, and just has a resigned look on his face. Well, and I think he looks at you, and I think that there's genuine respect there. Honestly, it's like, well fought.
It's a fair cup.
Yeah. Okay, so that is his turn. Flounce.
Okay. I really hate to do this, but I gotta take a healing potion.
No, that's a smart thing
That's
to
fair.
do.
That's fair.
All right, so potion of healing. I've got 3 of these, but they're only like the bare minimum. So, but every little bit helps. Because I am not great. Okay.
As I recall, somebody in the party had Featherfall,
I do,
and it can be upcast.
but not at my level, not at my
Oh.
spellcasting level.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
well,
can only get a couple people.
I still could teleport us.
Okay.
Could still do that.
The other thing that I'll point out, though, is that this extremely big, heavy armored ship is still hovering above the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking they're
I
gonna
mean,
barrage this thing.
I'm not saying that you might not have any choice. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that like that it would cross your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to fly this thing.
Well, I mean, all we had to do is get it moving.
Yeah, but yeah, first we got to deal with sub commander here.
All right. So Flounce took her turn by taking the potion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I took my turn, but I took a potion, but I still have movement. Is
Yeah.
this stairs going down?
Yes. Going
Okay,
down into
and
the ship.
as far as we know, that's where the controls are.
As far as you know. I mean,
Okay.
you don't see them up on the upper deck here.
Okay, so I'm actually going to start heading down.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
see
have
if
a
I can
map
try
for
and-
down there, but so you
Yeah.
can your first move is seeing mostly like corridors and just mystery, and you're looking around. But
Yeah, say
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find the control room.
all right. She has conveniently removed herself from where Xenophon can easily teleport everyone away.
That's exactly true.
But I have feather fall, so
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
fine with this.
I'm just. I just love how the situations evolve. That's all. Okay, so Xenophon, it is your turn.
Xenophon has a Githzerai across from him.
Get Yankee. You're the
Gith Yankee. I'm a
Yeah.
Githzerai. Blah 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 blah. Thank you. I do. Know how to play-
They're all the same, really.
Oh,
Ow!
just for that, I'm going to sacred flame him.
Yeah.
Dex saving throw.
Okay. And I believe he is still baned. Does he get a saving throw for that at any point?
Once he no, it's only until the spell ends. It only
Right.
as long as it only lasts for a minute. So
Okay.
he's about to be done.
So that's a 16.
So that fails.
Okay, and it actually turns into a 12 anyway. From the
Yep.
bane.
From the Bane. He takes 17 radiant damage.
Okay. Yeah, he's still up. He can take a
He's
few
still-
more of
he's
those,
still
but
up, but I'm
he's like, for someone who was a real badass a little bit ago, he is less badass now.
And I had to get some. I had to get my licks in on the Gith Yankee for sure. And now I finally have. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's my turn. Turn. I'm out of inspirations. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Coda.
I will ready my bow to fire and say, call off the attack, to the one in Gith, and say, call off the attack or be a stepping stone on my conquest. In Gith, and we'll take 2 shots at this person.
Okay, well, so were you wanting that to
Oh.
try to be like an intimidation check?
Oh, could I try to persuade?
I mean,
I mean, I
it would
can-
be intimidation, not
Yeah.
persuade. And I think the thing is, it's gonna be a high DC.
Yeah, loyal.
I mean, I'll let
remember
you
the-
try to roll it if you want, but you know what? I think that you're choosing to either focus on that or you're attacking.
Yeah. I'm only gonna say that in attack because
Okay.
I'm saying it, but I'm not. I'm going
All
to
right,
attack.
you know, so you hear him muttering. He's like, didn't even give me a chance to say no. I mean, like, what am I supposed to? Yeah. Go ahead and attack.
There we go. 13,
A 13 will not hit.
16.
Nope.
And I used my action surge earlier, but I will use my last spell slot as a bonus action and use a 1st level healing word on Flounce.
All right. Oh, you can't see her anymore. She went below deck.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Can't then.
you go take another one, Kent. Then hope you feel better.
Yeah.
It is. Yep, here we go. Yep. Almost max. So 8.
Okay. Thank you.
I am now broke. And that's my
Yeah,
turn.
we're all kind of ragged.
Oh, actually, I can still move. So, I will move up here to you guys,
Yeah.
and that'll be my turn.
You just changed something without knowing, but that's all right. I mean, it's great. I'm just, in terms of my own thinking about what might happen, it's like, oh, okay. Anyway, so that's Coda's turn. Dianok, it's now your turn.
Okay. You know, might as well uh, gain my friend his trophies. But a 14 doesn't hit, I'm sure. With fire.
No, yeah, 14 does not hit.
Okay.
I mean, did you, yeah, what, you didn't have the inspiration, did you?
I didn't have
No.
inspiration.
Okay,
No.
yeah, so 14 does not hit.
Okay. Yeah, that is all I can that's all I can do that's useful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
See?
Canthin.
Okay. He doesn't go before. No, he doesn't. Okay.
Nope, he
Yeah,
goes
he's
after you.
15.
The Supreme
Yeah.
Commander went before you.
Okay. Xenophon, are we teleporting this? You teleporting right now?
I need Flans back.
All right. I'm going to use a bonus action to activate my ring of jumping.
Mm-hmm.
Hop over in front of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And as my first attack, I'm going to shove. Only this time I'm shoving him back instead of prone.
Uh-huh.
For the 26 on my attack. On my.
That's pretty good. No, he fails.
All right. Bam! Hit him with the shaft of my spirit cleaver, and knock him off the edge of the railing.
This finally he gets a look of surprise that he this is full Hans Gruber as he goes over the edge. That is, I had the one nasty little trick that I was gonna do before I died. Because he can cast telekinesis too.
Yeah, he was gonna try that.
Yeah.
The
So
one thing you can't do with telekinesis is telekinesis yourself.
it's true. But the other thing that he was maybe going to do, if the telekinesis wasn't going to work, but before Coda moved where he did, is literally just run up and shove Xenophon over the side.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was the obvious target.
Yeah.
I
But-
figured I needed to take this guy out.
So, at least in the immediate, there are no enemy combatants on the deck of the ship here. You don't know what Flounce is seeing below decks, but what you can all see above here is that many of the other ships are moving into position, and some of them don't have to move far. It looks like it is imminent that some of them are going to begin firing on your position. However, then you hear a roaring sound. And from the Palace of Exile below, now that it is not being hammered by constant lightning fire, you see Shola in her dragon form emerge, soaring into the sky, and just slams right into the side of one of the nearest other airships, and just smashes it to bits in her first attack. And now many of those ships are deciding to maybe fire on her instead, and it's a whole big complicated thing. So you don't think you have much time though, so what's happening next? Flounce, you're looking for controls?
I'm looking for the control room.
Okay. I think that on your next turn here, it's not you know what, make a, you've got the whole like artificer tinkering element
Yes, she
thing.
does.
I'll let you make an Arcana check, on or survival, if either of those appeal.
Arcana, I have advantage on Arcana rolls.
All right.
So yeah, definitely Arcana.
Okay.
What am I rolling for?
Well, I mean, roll Arcana
Roll
to see
intelligence.
if you can find the controls and do anything here.
All right, so that's a 19.
Okay. I think on this turn, you're able to find the control room, and your immediate first reaction is that a lot of the controls are at least in core principles, similar to the fighters, in the sense that you feel like there's probably a lot of stuff this ship can do beyond just move
Going in a
around.
straight line.
But you feel like you at least know how to do like that, the gross movement. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But what is it that you would want to be trying to do?
I want to drive it away from the Radiant Citadel.
Now, that's a good idea. And I'm going to offer that right now, there is, like, away from the Radiant Citadel, normally could be in any number of different directions, of course. But right now, there's one very specific direction that would be out into the rest of the deep ethereal. And most directions that would be right into the keening gloom.
I'm gonna drive it right into the Keening Gloom. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know what you
into
thought
the
we were gonna
mouth,
do.
yeah.
That's a
All right.
no-brainer.
Down the throat.
So
Yeah.
I think the rest of you are suddenly like you don't need to make checks, but you're suddenly like rocked on your feet as the ship starts to and starts moving directly into the yawning maw, this chaotic, swirling, stormy mass of the keening gloom.
Oh my God, this is the black hole.
I think we're. I think Flounce found controls.
Yes.
Let's find her and get out of
this
here.
Yeah,
thing.
let's find her.
Guys, I'm pretty good with a bow, but I can't fly.
Yeah. So here's the question. Right now, all of the rest of you are above decks, but you know where she went. She went down there. But, like, I want to basically say, in the next 2 rounds worth of movement, what is the plan?
Find Flounce and we were going to stay in a group. Get to Flounce and cast teleport. And if we don't find her right away, she can feather fall out and we'll teleport without her. That's the plan.
I think that as you are, even as you're starting to go below deck, you're noticing that with this movement directly towards the keening gloom, almost as though it's expecting and wanting and hungry for your ship. Like, even though the storm itself has not advanced, you can see swirls and elements of it almost like reaching out, like welcoming the ship in. And you can see that reaching out even as you go below deck. And once you join Flounce in the control room, you can see out through this, like the cockpit window, how elements of this storm almost look like hands, but not humanoid hands, more like the strange insectile claws of the Drought Elder or some other similarly alien eldritch horror. But all of you together are able to join hands and teleport. Where are you teleporting?
Our house. I
Or
have a token of our house, so it's reduce the chances of a failure.
Okay, good point.
Okay.
It's all the way across town from the center of
Yes,
fighting,
but no chance of failure.
yeah.
That's important now.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. And so I think,
Because being off target by 100 feet north would be bad.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
see.
Exactly.
So it's known to you. It's on the same plane of existence as you. Obviously, you're very familiar, and you have an associated object. So basically, there is no chance of a mishap here.
Bingo.
Yeah. So as a result, you all find yourself. Where specifically do you appear? Like it. So it works, but where precisely do you actually arrive?
In honor of Canthan, we arrive in the kitchen because I knew you'd appreciate it.
All right. So all of you find yourself, I think, perhaps even arrive seated around the table. The kitchen is not entirely emptied out because, of course, you were kind of just grabbing specific things in a hurry, but it's also a little bit, feels a little bit, you know, empty until you arrive, and certainly, you know, dark, but and suddenly quiet compared to having just been on this Githyanki flagship. But do you take a moment there at the table?
Um,
What's
Going
next?
to immediately jump up and run outside.
I
Okay.
think, yeah, it's not time to celebrate yet because
Yeah.
there's still Githyanki running around the city. There's probably a lot of
Mm-hmm.
mopping up to do.
The moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the opportunity of sitting and just kind of sighing back at the table, chug another healing potion,
Yeah, healing potion
Reasonable.
is a good idea.
or
So
or can you hit me up?
so
I'm a little low in spells, and if you can use the healing potion, use that instead.
Okay.
I'm going to hand out to whoever is the worst
9.
off besides me, 2 potions of supreme healing, 10d4 plus 20,
Okay.
to whoever else is worse off. I think it's probably going to be the Enoch and Flounce.
Yeah, I think those are.
Okay.
Okay. 10d4 plus 20.
Yeah, and I take one. I take one of them myself.
So as everyone is looking up, you know, into the sky past the enormous auroral diamond, you see the flagship being drawn in to the keening gloom, and oddly, tendrils seem to be spreading out from it, reaching now out for the other ships that are starting to themselves maneuver away. Almost like being eaten by the keening gloom is infectious somehow. But even as they are, Shola's dragon form is wreaking havoc on a number of the smaller ships. They're trying to fire back, but she's too quick to for most of their ships that are designed to bombard stationary targets, and then you see further penning off their intended escape. Many of the Concord jewels have appeared in space and are ramming the comparatively fragile airships.
Whoops.
And you watch as the much of the Githyanki ship is smashed or swallowed or torn to pieces until what remains moves away from the Radiant Citadel and then flickers, performing their own plane shift travel and leaving. The day is won. The Radiant Citadel is safe.
Yay!
So there are a number of Githyanki warriors who are not powerful enough to plane shift themselves, who are left behind and eventually taken as prisoners. There's some mop up. There's a lot of damage that needs to be repaired. All of that is going to need to be resolved. But it is clear which side has emerged victorious here. And I want to know, with that understanding, what do you do next?
Right. I think we need to head to
Yeah, the Palace of Exiles, I think it was
Yeah.
called,
Palace of Exiles
and to link up with the
Mm-hmm.
defenses.
if we are
How much
needed.
shield
Yep.
bearers are left?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But eventually,
Mm-hmm.
will come time to stop and celebrate.
Yeah. So I think initially you make your way there, and there is a lot of damage surrounding it, and the building itself has taken significant damage, but not destroyed. It's clearly had magical defenses that were protecting it from the worst of the bombardment, but were probably not, they kept everyone trapped inside those defenses, and probably could not have been maintained permanently in any case. But so there's a lot of there's just like a ring of rubble and destruction surrounding it, and even the building itself has taken some damage, and you can see they're bringing people out, and you can already see some of the shield bearers that were inside are setting up like markers to indicate areas of the building that should be avoided for now because they might be unstable. And there's lots of shouting and directing and so on. That some of the shield bearers are no longer like the many of the shield bearers are like the last ones to have stayed around, right? Like there are civilians here and there. A lot had not yet evacuated, but many of them had. So mostly, you're encountering the people who stayed behind to do the work, right? And you see them still turning uncertain, nervous eyes towards the still close, looming, keening gloom. But and it is one of those sort of as you watch it destroy and consume Githyanki airships, there's a little bit of a I mean, I'm glad it's them, not us, but yeah. But there's definitely a lot to do, right? There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of work to be done. But I think in reporting there, you are directed to where you can find Ariat, your main guy, your contact, right? And he's the leader of the shield bearers, and he just sees you coming, and there's a moment where he's approaching, and then he kind of just stops back a little bit, and he just gives you all a salute. And he says, there's no question that the Order of the Golden Prawn was a shield for the Radiant Citadel today. And he looks over at Coda and says, I don't know.
He's like, he just kind of goes, but I think the other guy knows what you mean.
He gives you a little bit of a puzzled look, but then after a moment he seems like maybe he understands enough that he does not need to pursue further.
Don't look a gift hero.
And he says, there's going to be time for more talk about this, but in the meantime, we have practical concerns. Are any of you hurt? Do any of you need healing? Is there anything else that we need to know right now? Otherwise, we've still got a lot of work to do.
I'm not in immediate need.
I'm not critical, but
But if we're going back into battle, like to find stragglers, then some healing would be helpful.
And we still don't know where that Supreme Commander went.
Oh, she plane shifted. She
plane shifted. She went back home.
He went home.
Mm-hmm. That when you describe that, he's like he bears that out. He says the Githyanki used some sort of a plane shift travel to bring their ships here. I imagine that was their that is how the Githyanki Armada operates when they raid places. They use hit and run tactics in that way. Yeah. Although it's clear that they intended to stay if they could.
That was an occupation armada.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how that happened to how they knew what was happening, but the they have been repelled for now, and I think all the other questions can be answered later. Now we have to find to see if there are people, trapped in damaged buildings. We need to round up if there is any warriors left, and so if you're up to it, shield bearers have more work for you.
Yep.
The
We'll do
order
it.
will
Um,
answer the call.
And so
Darren says, I believe I have an obligation to the Dawn Incarnates at some point. I do not know how soon they will call on me for it.
I think that even as you're saying that, there's something telling you, like you just without knowing how you know that it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
I wait. It is time for me. It is time for me to fulfill my obligation. Friends, family, please join me.
All
They
right.
will return here to assist momentarily.
Yep. No question.
So
Absolutely.
Ariat is kind of just okay. Okay, so I guess come back when
We
you're
will
ready.
come back.
They will return.
All right.
We'll come back soonest.
Right. I at this point, all of you have more than earned the benefit of the doubt. If you say something's important, I believe you. And then I think he kind of hesitates for a moment, looking over at Dianok, and just says, "Thank you."
And Dianok will respond with, I stronger together, we rise like the sun.
Coda kind of looks at Dianok and is like, I don't like the way you're talking. It seems final.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. As Dianok is going through their bag and pulls out an odd little, I think like kind of knitted with a interesting pattern, little bag of beans, magical beans, and says, "Here, Coda, a little bit of fun to have with your conquest." And Dianok will take the pearl of power that they have, say, flounce, and toss it to you. Have some, do some good with that.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
And
See where this is going.
Xenophon, my arcane grimoire, find someone who can do good with that.
Maybe even myself.
Maybe. And take money pouch and hand it over to Canthan. And make some good food and make sure it gets known across the plains.
I was planning on doing that anyways.
Here's 665 gold to help you with that,
All right.
and 6 silver and 3 copper. And basically that was kind of happening as we walked to the
As you're on your way towards that. Yeah. So, I don't want to interrupt if people are still talking. As you're getting close there.
And as we arrive at it, Dianok oddly looks younger than like there's a weight that's lifted off of them. And they look, they're sprightly 110 years, elvish years, but very young adult that they actually are.
Before you go inside, the shadow silhouette of a dragon passes overhead and lands, then transforming back into the middle aged appearing woman that is Shola's humanoid form. If For those who may or may not recall, she is one of the speakers to the ancestors of the local government, but she is also, of course, a dragon, and in particular, the dragon that rediscovered the Radiant Citadel after it had been lost for some time, and had been instrumental in founding the new society that exists on it now. And she lands and immediately looks to Deanoch, and she's placed herself kind of in your way.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks to you, Deanoch, and says, "What they've asked of you is not fair."
Not fair, but fitting.
It doesn't have to be this way. I'm sure we could find another solution.
We all have lies we tell each other, or we tell ourselves. And one of those lies that I told myself was that I could recover, return home and be welcomed with open arms. And Deanoch will hold up their hands with the middle fingers missing. That would never happen. But I will allow my people to be remembered, to be known across the Citadel. And that is good enough.
Do they deserve it?
They have spent, as long as they remember, guarding a place that to them was a place of danger, of terror. And they made mistakes like any mortal can. And some immortal beings as well. But they at least deserve a chance.
She considers that for a while and then says, "Then I will not stand in your way."
But will you stand by our side?
I suppose the council chamber has room. We'll have to bring in another chair.
Of course.
She looks kind of sad, but she kind of steps back.
And question. I basically commissioned some art for a apology to the Dawn Incarnates. Did that happen to get done, or
Uh,
any of it at least?
She kind of just gestures inside.
Okay.
So does everybody go in?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in a prominent place in sort of the entry, do you want to describe the
Oh.
what you had commissioned?
Basically, it is carved panels of for each adventure we had, and like basically a representation. I don't have the thing pulled up for what
Yeah.
each one is,
Let's see.
but the very first one was is a imprint of the coin that that Dianok found that had sunrise with seven or with 9 feathers fanned out beneath it, and above the coin is basically Dianok's hands with the missing middle fingers and a wand between them. Nine, nine, uh, 9 up and 9 down, and on the coin in Draconic it reads, uh, "Rising light." Um, the phrase I had blanked.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember. You sent this to me at some point and I can't find it.
Yeah. Stronger together we rise like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's a phrase.
Yeah.
And then each panel is just basically a representation of our adventure we had on it, and it's basically a full telling of our story. And Dianok goes up to the first one and places their hands to match the thing, smiles, and then moves on.
So, is everyone just like continuing together, or?
I want to look at each panel. I want to see what Dianok
Yeah.
has purchased as
How
commissioned here.
how large are they?
I imagine they'd be. I don't know if I ever actually sent you the full.
Yeah, I was trying to find it
described
because
on stream.
yeah, okay, that's right. I
Yeah.
was trying. I for some reason I thought I had it written out, but no. But yeah, so it's certainly, each of your many adventures. There was, of course, the
The night
strange
market.
politics and mischief in the night market.
Yeah.
There is the ghost story and all of the strange hands, and the earnestness of the farmers there in God's breath. There was the fiend of Hollow Mind, where the young man cursed through down the generations, but rescued
Oh yeah, when
by
we
you.
went through the mines, we went through
Yep.
the caves and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The your decision to help out the young woman desiring vengeance and political change in the land of Zinda with the jelly wine, and
Yep.
Yeah.
then there is also the 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 forgotten but now remembered ancestor in Ionido, that you helped lay her ghost to rest. The mines and the dueling princes in the Gold Warren. The trailing down and stopping the volcanic apocalypse in Etizalan.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
The
oh man,
fire giant
we had the fight under the giant dead tree that was dropping ash all over the place.
Yeah.
And that was.
Yeah, that was actually that was the next one, because then there was also the mists of Mount Ivarsha, which had the
The giant wave.
yep, going up through the jungle.
Yeah.
Between tangled roots, where you crossing the long sky bridges and rescuing the corrupted dragon spirit. Then, of course, the complicated religious politics of the Shadow of the
Yes.
Sun, and the Ashen Airs, and all of that. The underwater adventures in the Night Seas Sucker.
Yeah.
Searching for old relics in the Undercity and buried dynasty.
Yep.
And then, of course, rescuing Chimagua from the machinations of the Drought Elder.
That adventure is not represented because that
Which
is the one.
finished.
Yeah, happened after you commissioned
happened
the
after you
yeah.
commissioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention, probably a new panel needs to be made for the
Mhm.
defense of the Citadel against the Githyanki attack.
Yeah.
But so I think as you're moving past where all of these panels have been set up, they're clearly not in a permanent installation yet, but they've been set for display along the hallway that leads down to the where the preserve of the ancestors is. But then as you kind of have made your way to that entrance, um, there's I think one of the Dawn incarnates, the hang on, which ones are they? Sorry, I'm trying to pull them up. There's there's the amethyst tiger of Ionido. In fact, actually, let me if everyone, which one is that art? Um, let's see if I can find it just to put it up here on the screen.
Um,
Gosh, I tell you, some of these handouts are harder to find than I would prefer. But in any case, I've got one up on the screen. But in any case, it is waiting there at the entrance, and it nods at Dianok, and then turns its head up, and then again, like this is the shape of a tiger, but made up of all of these purple amethyst gems, holding in place like a three-dimensional connect the dots. um, and it looks to all of the rest of you and says, "The rest of Dianok's journey is for Dianok alone."
Enoch will turn to the rest and say, "You have been wonderful companions. And know that regardless of what happens, I will remember you. And I will be here if you need me. Just say my name." And Dianok takes out their spellbook and hands it to Shalo and says, "Make sure this knowledge is kept for those who need it have it."
Oh, she accepts it.
And Diana follows the incarnate.
So, I think. So, what did the rest of you do at this point?
I'm just standing there solemnly.
Yeah, until they're out of sight completely.
Yeah.
So, I think that there's a period of time where nothing seems to, like you don't really notice or see anything happening, but it just feels right to wait and just observe. And then you see from somewhere deep into the preserve, there's a brilliant blue flash. And then soaring over this strange sort of savanna that exists within the interior of the auroral diamond, you see a new Dawn incarnate, or perhaps a reborn old one, a sapphire dragon, soars over the savannah, and kind of there's a moment where it kind of pauses. Um, it slows its flight just a moment as it passes the opening with a moment. Is it eye contact? It's a little hard to say, but then soaring back inside.
And one thing that you all notice is that of the claws on this dragon's hands, it's missing the middle one, the middle finger of both of the
Mm-hmm.
hands.
Yeah.
And when you all make your way back outside, there is a sapphire Concord jewel hovering in the sky. And the keening gloom has retreated. So, as mentioned, there's still work to be done, but you're not kept busy for too very long. There's time to do what you will. So tell me what each of you do in the next couple of days and then perhaps the next couple of weeks.
Well, the first thing we're doing once things have calmed down and we're not needed anymore is that Kanthan is cooking a gigantic feast for everyone in the group plus any of our friends and acquaintances and rivals from around the city. Um, and he's going to break out the bottle of jelly flower wine that he's been holding on to
Nice.
since forever. Um, and pour that out for everybody, and yeah, and drink a toast to Dianak.
Good thing.
What other things do you
Long may he sparkle.
say?
I'm going to start arranging for the creation of the quote unquote 2 missing panels. I'm going to commission the art to complete the Enox project of our 2 final battles, stories, adventures together, so that there's a complete set. If necessary, I will Kickstarter it with my
No,
with by mentioning it every time I go up to perform.
Sure. So I think I was initially going to say that was absolutely something that the city would cover, but I think that there would be an element of like, there's actually also a lot of damage to repair right now, and
Yep.
so like I think that I think you're given a little bit of an indication of that is absolutely something that the city might cover eventually. But if you want it sooner, it probably does need to come from.
Yeah.
You know what?
Could
I bet. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think an idea I think the artist might have is that have the two panels and then have one panel at the end that is just blank because the story doesn't end.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice little bit of imagery. I like that.
Oh,
So I was going to suggest too that perhaps part of what ends up happening is that it is not merely fundraising for the art itself, but used as the focus of raising money for repairs to the Citadel generally.
Yeah, that works very well. I can become a fundraising power player with my charisma.
I think that to be sure that with the keening gloom retreating, there's of course a lot of people who are excited to return. You know, we're hoping to not have to be leaving forever. There is, you know, it starts to become routine that you see wide-eyed elves experiencing the Radiant Citadel for the first time as the
Oh,
first visitors in many
Yeah.
years.
I was kind of hoping that the group would be the first people to go back
Oh,
or
okay.
go to
Well,
them.
I think that's what Flounce does
Okay. Yeah.
in the couple of days is that she takes
Takes that first
that
ride.
Concord that first ride down to bring them word that
Mm-hmm.
hey,
And
I think, given the history we know of this place, you're going to want some security. I'm coming with you.
okay,
Yep, you need
Xenophon
me.
should go too.
Yep. Yep, yes, Xenophon needs to go. Xenophon
Yes.
promised the Enoch thing, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Xenophon will
yeah.
definitely go as well.
Because
I
you
think
have
they
you
I
have
think
something to read.
I think Flounce hops on the Concord gem and kind of just gets her seat, and then you guys come like running up right behind her. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. I'm not doing this alone.
Hold the gem, hold the gem.
We didn't say we weren't coming. We just needed to get our jacket.
All the good coats are in the back.
That's why you need fur.
I'll get right on that.
Does Coda go with it? Go with it?
Yeah. How's Coda feel about all this?
He's pretty chill. Coda's like, it's fine. He's like, I will help you guys. He's like, I can get better. He's like, being with you guys is always exciting and fun. And plus, I get to test out some skills. Not to mention that what you guys are doing is he definitely remembers things that he definitely doesn't experience. So he's got to solidify those by having those experiences.
So I think you arrive there and it's you know uh, forested, but there's a city. I think there's some initial surprise, but did you is this where Xenophon's letter or whatever would
Yeah.
would apply?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I imagine like some of the elders of the city would definitely go up and see what's going on, and probably a
Mhm.
good handful of warriors. Because
Good thing you guys have someone very persuasive to explain what happened.
Yeah,
We don't get shot full of arrows and spears. Yes.
yeah. Well, Flounce has a lot of hit points again.
We are not getting skewered today. We're
Yeah.
canceling the skewering.
Haas and Pepper's off the menu.
Yes, permanently.
So I mean, is this is some? Do you have something to read, Paul?
I don't know if I have the text on me. I know.
I think you have a Discord DM at least.
Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see if I can find it real quick.
because I don't have this, so
Yeah.
I actually did
Oh.
send you at least.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So what Xenophon gives to the highest elder that he can find is it's a little package. It has a small sapphire, and it has this message: I am the child of a land forgotten by the rest. I have been exiled from a people who guard where the land was connected to the whole. Replace the scaled ornament, awaken the sapphire dragon, allow my people to be remembered, make me Dianok Sapphire born.
So I think that obviously it takes a little while for this to be absorbed, but I think your rhetorical skills combined with just the mythic truth of all this, it feels to them intuitively like a loop has been completed. That this feels right, and not only that, but of course this Concord gem has reappeared, and those who are brave enough can actually return on it and see the Radiant Citadel for themselves and observe the truth in all of this, and eventually some of them to travel to the preserve of the ancestors and see the Sapphire Dragon.
I
And
think one of the uh, first visitors um, well, is a very young elf, uh, bright-eyed, looks, uh, you know, seems like kind of awkward with everybody else. Uh, Basically, this is essentially another Dianok, but is but did not get exiled.
hmm.
But you know, it doesn't fit in at home and just wants to see everything.
So it becomes uh, a regular sight this as more and more visitors come and see the Radiant Citadel, and preparations begin to have, once again, more regular contact and communication ongoing. A land reconnected, once connected in the ancient days, the connection severed and now restored. Uh, so, Coda, I think at some point you do receive magically a sort of communication from a familiar voice saying, well, that really wasn't what I had in mind.
And Coda chuckles and just says, "You told me you wanted me to be a conqueror and to hone those skills. You didn't say who I should conquer. And to be clear, I'm not Exel anymore."
No, you are not. And then that's the last thing they say. So, what else does everyone get up to as time passes, as the weeks go on, and repairs have begun in proper? I think there's probably one or two. There's some discussion about what's to be done with the Githyanki prisoners.
Xenophar's answer is rather bloody, but Xenophon is a Githzerai, so
Yeah.
you may not want to
Yeah.
listen to me on this
Well,
one.
so I think that Xenophon's vote there by itself would probably not be sufficient to make that be what happens.
No, I didn't think so,
Um,
but he does make his wishes known.
Yeah, you could certainly speak that case in
Yeah.
front of the council. But what do we think collectively is probably the decision?
The I think one of the basic fundamental values inherent in the Radiant Citadel, one of the things it's kind of based on,
Mm-hmm.
is that um, second chances, and that mercy is as important as justice.
And
Um,
sending their prisoners back unharmed could go away a long way for diplomacy.
I think there's a
Yeah,
limit
so-
to how far
I think-
mercy
Well,
can
the
go there.
I
Githyanki
imagine my thought is like each prisoner is given would be given a choice:
Mm-hmm.
stay or go.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that they're much less likely to be able to engage in trouble if they're not all in one place. So exiling them in small groups to the various lands of the Concord Gems might be a way to blunt the possible disruptive effects of having them around. Or easier to keep track of them if they're all in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Establish some kind of
Colony or something.
yeah of where they can help to
Mhm.
repair some of the damage they've done.
Pay their dues.
I think probably the end result ends up being a combination of all those things. You know, but certainly life begins to return to a new normal the auroral gem changes colors again and is now sort of nice, a nice bright blue for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And does anyone else have any other business before we close the
And
book on this adventure?
Canthan's going to take a trip back home,
Hmm?
um, visit the little restaurant where he grew up,
Yeah?
and um, drop off a big pile of cash, and say
Nice.
next time you have a scullery lad, um, when he grows up, you can send him off with a decent passel to start with.
Xenophon goes back to his monastery and then goes back to see his parents and then goes back to the Citadel.
Mhm.
He's still got adventures to write, an epic to complete.
And Canthan opens a restaurant.
Yeah.
And Canada opens a restaurant. Yay!
Yay.
I think there's a group of a group um from DNR's home where they that here's about you know other lands that are disconnected, and basically volunteers their services to uh, help find the land, help find other places, and basically just like kind of is and I imagine Shiloh would
Cholet, but yeah.
Charlotte
Yeah.
would uh, would gladly have that happen.
I think she is absolutely willing to let other people do that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like she will help coordinate.
Sure. Yeah, I think that those who are around her are treated after all of this to a lot of like, I'm too old for this stuff. But yes, I think that happens.
Yeah. I think that one morning you guys wake up and Flounce has followed her feet.
Did you leave a note or anything?
She probably would have left a note saying, "Hey, keep my room open. I will probably be back."
We'll be back when the world needs the prawns again.
And I still have my sending stone.
And I still have the sending spell, so I can always send you my latest poetic creations.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep the halberd sharp.
Yeah. So I think Deanoch's spell book, is given a prominent place in the Shield Bearer's library.
Yep.
With a chain on it so that we can keep track.
Well, that's how they do a lot of their books. Is like they're available as resources, but they're too valuable to let people just like take them home. Yeah, you can read them here, and we'll under our supervision.
And I imagine there's at least some curiosity on other mages that are like, bone, huh? And this started with what bones?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, that's unique.
So, what does Coda get up to?
Oda actually he sticks with the shield bearers, but he actually talks them into starting a division of kind of scouts and explorers that go out and travel into these different places touching the Radiant Citadel. It allows him to
Nice.
get more experience, going against different foes and different enemies and learning more about different places.
Very nice. And so I think our camera begins to pull back. The keening gloom has now retreated, more distant than it's been since anyone can remember. Barely visible in the sky above. The silvery mist that surrounds this strange little city, clustered around an enormous diamond, floating there in the deep ethereal sea. And that concludes our journeys through the Radiant Citadel.
Yay!
We did it, everybody.
Yeah,
Did the thing.
we did the thing.
Yeah. Just because it's fun, you can all level up to 16 if you want.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Flounce is doing the thing. Actually, should she take the level in Artificer again? Yes.
Well-
yes, she absolutely should.
I think we can leave all of that to the listener's imagination. But this concludes our Radiant Citadel campaign. I think that that was an excellent book full of great adventures, and then of
Oh, yeah.
course
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
this final chapter was inspired by all that had come before. And I think it was wonderful. But I think looking ahead, we are still planning to do an Apocalypse Keys campaign. But we will be spending a few weeks doing something else just because I think we still have various schedule stuff, people coming in and out. So, but we will be doing something or other. And so with that, thank you everybody for listening and or watching. And we will be back next week for more adventure on some kind of level. There are so many to choose from.
So many.
Absolutely.